TikTok time to rock. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. Your friendly neighborhood philosopher here, D. Wood. With me, I've got a man everyone calls the Goofy Sufi. And normally wouldn't call someone a Goofy Sufi, but it kind of stuck, and he's apparently fine with it. Although he's frozen. What's going on there? Issa is frozen. Might need to call back. And we got Thaddeus. How you doing, Thaddeus?
Hello, hello. Glad I'm here.
And Thaddeus, you're the one who stays up to date on all the behind veils stuff. And
yep, and we got a new video just dropped this week, so we're going to be looking at that.
And we've been waiting for this one for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, he said like they had a week or 2 weeks or something like that to respond, and 2 months later we finally get the video.
Yeah. Tragically, I cannot criticize because I always say I'm going to do this next week, and then like 6 months later or 2 years later I get to it and stuff like that. But he obviously does tons and tons and tons of research and so on. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any inside knowledge, but I would assume it was, got busy with life. The channel's not monetized. It's not very big. He obviously is not a full-time Dawah guy. He has a real job, I'm sure. So got busy with life, I imagine, but he's back and he's ready to take down some ridiculous behavior in the Dawah community.
Here we have Sam Shamoon insulted you and called you out, David. Oh, I guess I should be totally distracted by that, and we should just divert our attention to all that kind of stuff and not focus on the actual topic of this video. So you've been warned. We're not interested in the drama right now. The only drama we're interested in this video is the Dawah drama. Other drama can wait till other shows and so on. So don't say, hey, David, wanted to respond to this. What do you say about this? What do you comment on this? Not interested, guys. Not interested. We're on a mission for every Dawah guy to be completely refuted and for every Muslim on the planet, especially Sufis, to come to the Lord Jesus Christ. How you doing, Issa? Hey, I don't hear you, man. You're muted. You muted yourself.
Yes, I did. I didn't want to disturb anything. I'm doing really well. Thank you. Peace and blessings all.
Awesome. So, Issa, you've followed most of this Dawah drama, haven't you? I mean, I'm particularly on the, you're a little blurry, so you have a bad connection, but we hear you fine, and that's like 1,000 times more important. Everyone thinks, you would think with video, it's actually having good video is more important than having good sound. It's like, where do you get that idea? You ever watch someone and the video's really bad, but you can hear them crystal clear? Compare that with perfect 4K video, and you can't understand what the guy's saying. And then you realize, nope, audio is way more important.
I agree.
Yeah. So I remember seeing you in the chat a ton of times as we've gone through this stuff. How does it feel knowing your co-religionists, your fellow Muslims, your brothers, your Muslim brothers are treating women pretty darn horribly in the Dawah world?
I think just the idea of the kind of abuses towards women at all, I don't care who the person is bad, and I think it needs to be condemned.
Oh, people are saying you look like a Mormon.
Do I? That's hilarious.
Elder Issa. Elder Issa. I always thought it was funny when those dudes would show up at the door and they're like looking like they're 14 years old, and the little name tags say Elder so-and-so.
They're elder.
Yeah.
They came to my house, actually, and they helped me bring a TV upstairs. They're very nice.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I remember they do that. I didn't have them do anything, but I remember them asking, "Is there any chores you'd like us to do while we're here and stuff?" And like, well, you guys are sweet, man. I should have been like, yeah, mow my lawn, man. What's up? He can't though. They're too nice, man. But yeah, helping carry something up there is good. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Let me check these. Check these first two super chats. So we got, hey Thaddeus and Issa. Oh, hi David. Yeah. And what's up? What's up, Jack Ray? And then straighten your tie. You look like you've just been all zooted. Hey, you can't be messing. You can't be. There shouldn't be any zoot jokes with Issa. It's gonna hurt his feelings. It's gonna hurt his feelings.
Promise, wouldn't I be an Alzoot because I'm South Asian, right?
Yeah. What are you talking about? He's not. He hasn't been al-zooted. He's the one doing these al-zooting, everyone. Where you guys been? All right. So, hey, Thaddeus, for anyone who's new here, why don't you give them the condensed version of everything that's happened up till now in the video we're going to watch, where it sounded to me like Ali Dawah was admitting to treating the Dawah fan girls like prostitutes. That's what it sounded to me like. He was just admitting it and saying, what are you going to do about it? It's fine, according to Islam. But why don't you give us the rundown of everything that led up to this moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as the public awareness, this started in the spring. That's when Behind Veils released their first video. But rewinding back to the beginning, Muhammad Hijab met a woman who we now know alias as Aisha, about like maybe 5-ish years ago. Had a long-term, mostly professional relationship in which I would say he was definitely grooming her, or at least evaluating her as a potential second wife or third wife or fourth wife. We don't really know, but not his first wife, right? Because he does have a first wife that is public. After this had been gone on for a while, he proposed marriage to her. She had to convince her father, but she was promised a real marriage, right? In the Islamic sense, right? Not something we would consider a valid marriage as Christians, but a real marriage in the Islamic sense.
No offense, Issa. Go ahead.
That, he'd be part of her life. She had a kid from a previous marriage. He'd be a father to her kid. They'd live together part of the time, right? He has to balance having multiple wives, but he would be involved in her life. He'd get to know her family, et cetera, et cetera. She agreed. Then he disappeared. He ghosted her for a period of time. He came back after some months and said, I just was immature. I wasn't ready. Took a lot of convincing, but eventually she agreed to go forward with the marriage proposal from earlier. Basically immediately after the marriage ceremony took place, which took place over Zoom with hand-picked witnesses.
Did you say over Zoom?
Over Zoom. I don't know if it was technically Zoom, but on the internet, not in person, with hand-picked witnesses and a hand-picked person to officiate the ceremony by Muhammad Hijab. He handpicked the person who would stand in as the wali or representative of the bride. So he had very carefully orchestrated the situation. Anyway, immediately after that, pretty much after they had met at a hotel to consummate the marriage, he started to change the terms and say, I because of the Dawah scene and all my obligations, I can't really spend any time with you. We're just going to meet at hotels when I feel like it, right? When I feel like it, we'll meet at a hotel, and that'll be the extent of the marriage. And she's like, that's not what I signed up for. Either you give me my rights or we are done. And Muhammad Hijab agreed to divorce her at that time. He then continued to harass her for an extended period of time, alternating between like insulting her, being angry with her, and saying, you can come back if you want. I'll take you back. And, abusive
Nice
behavior.
Nice guy.
Yeah. She said, this is enough. This is bullshit, basically. And she went to seek help from, a proper Islamic way. She went to seek help from the Islamic community. Some people said they wanted to help, but they were afraid of Muhammad Hijab. Other people said Muhammad Hijab didn't do anything wrong. She eventually found someone who happened to be a former teacher of Muhammad Hijab, Sheikh Tarane, who agreed to help, agreed to mediate. He negotiated a deal in which Muhammad Hijab would apologize, and she would be allowed to go on Ali Dawah, not say who she'd married, but make women aware of this going on in the community to be more careful for their own sake.
Hey, just to recap there, because this is like one of the most important details. After Muhammad Hijab did all this extremely messed up stuff and was trying to turn, well, he was turning Muslim women into what hotel wives. You're just a wife for purpose of sex in a hotel, no family, no home together. It's just sex, and you should do that because I'm so important. I'm so important in Dawah. After that happened, and she realized that's what he was trying to do to her, she said, "No, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm leaving." And then all she wanted, because she knew what was happening, because she knew Dawah guys were doing this. All she requested, she wanted an apology from him, private apology, and she wanted to be able to inform other Muslim women what the Dawah guys were doing so that they aren't turned into hotel wives for these guys. And she didn't want to call out anyone by name. She just wanted to warn her fellow Muslim women. And Thaddeus, hijab couldn't allow that. They supposedly agreed to it and were going to do that. Then he changes his mind. There's nothing you can do to stop me. And so I'm not even going to allow you to warn women. Why? We don't want you warning women about what we're doing. Then they might not fall for it. And then we don't have them in the hotel with us. So Thaddeus, if hijab hadn't been so insanely arrogant and narcissistic and had just let that video be posted, would we know about any of this right now?
No, I mean, we probably would have, assuming the video is published, we might have commented on the video. We might have speculated who it might be or something, but we probably would have just blown over, right? Because it could have been anyone. It could be some minor name that we don't even know. And it probably wouldn't have been a big scandal. It probably wouldn't have made both Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah afraid to go to Speaker's Corner. Neither of them have gone to Speaker's Corner since this went down.
And not only would we have not heard that it was hijab, we would have had, you're right, we would have speculated, but we wouldn't know. But everyone who's gotten into trouble over this, which is a lot of people, and they're all in trouble because of hijab's ego. All these guys, these guys in these videos that we're seeing, who are all being exposed because guys, they all had a big conspiracy. We're all going to work together in blaming Issa and saying she's crazy and she's a liar, and we're all going to defend Muhammad Hijab. Meanwhile, all this stuff gets exposed. And now they're all exposed for their role, and it's all just because hijab couldn't let her warn Muslim women. And now Muslim women are being warned, but everyone's being exposed. Wild, wild stuff. Ego's crazy, man. Ego's crazy. All right. Go ahead, Thaddeus.
Yep. So that interview did actually take place. I don't know if it was always a plan to not actually air it, or it was a decision after the fact. But either way, either it was a conspiracy ahead of time or after the fact, Hijab said, never mind. But regardless, Hijab made the call, told Ali Dawah to delete it. Ali Dawah deleted the video. It was gone forever as far as anyone knew. It turns out Aisha was also secretly recording it, at least the audio, presumably with a phone in her pocket. And thus we did eventually get the audio. But as far as they knew, it was all gone, never to be heard again. Aisha had been trying for around a year to get help, finally had this lifeline, thought things were better, and then just out of nowhere, they said, nope, we're not going to air that video. After that, she tried to reach out to some more people, including David, And David never saw it. Probably many people she tried to reach out to never saw it, but she did eventually get in contact with Salman from behind veils, and he did his own investigation, spent 4 or 5 months investigating it.
Hey, little side note here. So Salman from behind veils. You're right. She tried to contact me. She tried to contact Abdullah Samir and so on. She was looking for anyone who could help her expose what's going on. She instead got Salman. Now, how much better a job is Salman doing than I would have done?
Yeah, I'd say,
be honest,
I can't imagine anyone doing a better job. Let's put it that way.
Let's just say like 1,000 times better, right? Than me or anyone else I could think of would have done. I have to take it. I mean, even as a Christian, I have to take it as God playing a role in that, because my goodness, he has been wreaking havoc on some very, very, very messed up, evil stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So he did his own investigation. He actually gave Hijab another opportunity to resolve it behind closed doors. I don't know what that would have taken exactly, but Hijab at this point was not playing ball at all. He just decided to blatantly lie and say, I've never heard of this person. I have no idea who she is. And then was confronted with the evidence. You definitely know who she is. Oh, yeah. That was just a crazy stalker. I got rid of her as soon as I realized what she was doing. And he's like, no, this is not the case at all. You need to come clean or we're going to go public. And he's like, I dare you, go public. So, of course, they went public.
You'll be humiliated. What an ego. He thought, I mean, that's why I'm saying that even as a Christian, I think God had a role in all this. It's like one lady versus all the combined forces of these guys with like 1 million+ subscriber channels and stuff like this. What chance does she have? That's what Hijab was thinking. This lady can't. What? She gonna? Muhammad Hijab was doing this. Who's gonna believe her? Who's gonna believe her over the hero of Dawah? Everyone with a brain now, after because she crushed them. Oh man! All right, go ahead.
And of course, so the contact with Sheikh Tarani and the negotiation was back in last fall. It was this spring when it eventually went public. In between that time, Muhammad Hijab was scheming behind closed doors. He was, as we now know, blackmailing Sheikh Tarani, saying that he needed him to confess, quote unquote, confess on camera that he had been tricked, that Muhammad Hijab was never involved with this woman, and so on and so forth. Sheikh Tarani ended up in the hospital from all the stress. We know that there was sexual abuse allegations leveled against Sheikh Tarani. We don't know whether those are remotely credible. They could have been goons of Muhammad Hijab leveling them, but that was what was causing him stress. That was what the blackmail was about. If you don't do what we say, we're going public and destroying your career with these allegations. Ironic, right? To get out of his own sexual abuse allegations, he's threatening to expose someone else's allegations of sexual abuse. The video is published. After a few days, Muhammad Hijab puts out a tweet saying that he'll respond in 30 minutes. He deletes that tweet, but then within 30 minutes, a video is posted on a brand new channel. Well, sort of brand new channel, a channel that had never published a video before, but had actually been created around almost the exact time the divorce took place, which was called False Accusations UK. Put out a video saying this has nothing to do with Muhammad Hijab. We're just independent investigators looking into this matter. They published some out of context clips that had been manipulated of Aisha. When that didn't work, right? When that didn't slow down and Behind Veils started dropping more evidence, because they didn't drop everything at once. They dropped the accusations, but then they brought out more evidence over a period of time. Ali Dawah jumped in and tried to come to Muhammad Hijab's rescue. That didn't help any. Then Behind Veils False Accusations published a second video, this time with an AI generated confession. They said, this is definitely not AI. You can go to this tool to see that it's not AI. And if you go to the exact tool they said to go to, it says it's 99% chance it's AI generated. It didn't actually sound like her either, nor did it make any sense. They said it was supposedly a call to a counseling organization, which would be unethical and probably illegal to leak, which had supposedly been leaked and that was her confessing to the counselor that she had made the whole thing up. No one really bought that, I don't think. Everyone kind of saw through that. Ali Dawah, this was actually he published 2 videos before that. In one of those 2 videos, he posted a faked screenshot. So we got a faked screenshot and a faked video. And this is the evidence being given on their side.
If we were to make a list of like the dumbest thing, like the absolute dumbest. I mean, apart from like hijab, just not letting her warn Muslim women, not giving her just at least that, like huge screw up. I'd have to say the top 3 dumbest tactical moves from these tactical morons. I mean, like dumbest of the dumb tactically. I have to say the photoshopped screenshot, which was easily exposed by people who took a closer look at it, but they thought this was exposing her, and turned out to be photoshopped, and that was all exposed. And of course, the video, the AI video, dumbest thing ever. Oh, and here's how we know it's true. This website shows it's true. And as you did, the website said, nope, it's AI. And then basically hijab trying to preempt everything by saying, oh, I've heard it from a representative of Elon Musk that if I don't stop with my powerful Dawah, he will frame me for a scandal. But I'm telling you beforehand that I know that Elon Musk is going to frame me for a scandal. So if you see any news of a scandal coming out soon, just know that it is Elon Musk who set this up. Like the most idiotic thing ever. That was a Tate movie. That's a movie copied from Andrew Tate. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, I had forgotten that, but he did set that up either in December or January. So, in between the time that she was interviewed by Ali Dawah and the time that it became public, he set that up saying, Elon Musk is trying to frame me. So he didn't actually go with that once it was released. I guess he realized how stupid it was, but he did try to set that up.
It'd be funny if he tried it now. It's like, oh, well, this new Behind Veils video, this is clearly set up by Elon Musk.
Indeed. So near the end of the accusations, or the initial phase of the Behind Veils videos, we got the bombshell that Mohammed Hijab had been blackmailing Sheikh Tarani. And then the final chapter was that, hey, there's a secret group where Mohammed Hijab and all his buddies are conspiring. And guess what? I, Salman of Behind Veils, have access to that group. I've seen every one of their messages. And we see what they've been saying about behind closed doors, where they're saying, well, they're debating. Should we say that she's mentally ill? Should we say she's an apostate? What should we do? What should we do to discredit her? And they're bickering back and forth as to which one is the better strategy. They kind of ended up going with a little of A and a little B, but mostly trying to imply that she's not a credible witness seemed to be the strategy they ended up going with. Their great accusations were that she had once called into a Dawah show and had expressed or asked a question, right? They have a question. Muslims, call in with all your tough questions about the Quran that you need answers to. And she calls in and asks a question. And now that is sign that she's mentally ill because she called into the show that they set up for people to call into. And also they kind of, and she sent an email after that to the program's organizers, kind of apologizing that she wasn't completely focused. I mean, I watched it. She seemed perfectly fine, but probably from years of being gaslit and abused, whatnot, she thought that her performance was not good on the show. And she wrote in and apologized and said that I suffer from ADHD and it's sometimes hard to concentrate, which has absolutely no bearing on whether you can tell the truth. It has no bearing on whether or not you can accurately remember events or anything along those lines. But they decided to say, well, this means that she is hallucinating and none of this ever happened and blah, 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 blah. And when those group chats came out, multiple statements that they had made in public were revealed to be complete and total lies. And we got a new figure jumping on the scene. Dean Responds, comes in and says, that group chat, it was totally legit, but what he didn't tell you is that I proved she was mentally ill in the group chat. That was his genius strategy. We'll see that the fallout of that in the video today. But that is where we last left it.
Do you mind if I ask a question about that?
Oh,
Sure.
I was about to ask you a question about why your religion... No, go ahead.
So my question is, so that's actually one of my fields. I was a special ed teacher. I do therapy. That's my kind of work that I do in my daily life. If we look at the element of mental health, what does that prove? Let's say she has mental health issues. Most of us all do. Humans do. Like, this is a part of our condition. Does that prove that what she said was wrong? What I don't like is I don't like gaslighting. I don't like taking away from people's trauma. I think this is a huge thing. These people want to try to delegitimize her trauma and say, because all they care about is, ego. They care about power, and they're just like, I want my person in power who has, I don't know, I'm not really impressed by his rhetoric. I saw your debate with him, and I was not impressed. He kind of did a lot of chest thumping, and he was like, Arabic. So what? You don't know Hebrew, bro. You don't know Greek. So how are you able to enter this discussion? How are you able to talk about the Bible when you don't know Hebrew and you don't know Greek?
How do you not know how Dawah works? Look, I wasn't impressed by the chest thump. That's like 99% of Dawah, man.
It's not the world I come from. I come from more of an ecumenical world. I don't know about this type of stuff. This is very new for me.
The Zut people aren't impressed.
It's so weird. Like, when I hear this, I'm like, it's a weird thing I see in these debates, and you'll never see me ever take this position, like an offensive position on this, like where people are like, well, we have a linguistic miracle. And I'm like, but you don't have the skill set. Like, all you know about is Islamic thought and Arabic. But you don't, and you probably don't even necessarily know Fusha. Fusha is like your ancient Arabic. Because I studied ancient Greek in college, right? I took a class in ancient Greek.
Do you remember?
It is not the same as mine in Greek, huh?
Do you remember it?
Oh, yeah, I can read and write it. I was studying.
That's impressive. I always tell people as an example, like you guys, you were telling me about a live stream I did right before we started. And I have no recollection of ever covering that topic at all, let alone the live stream. But I normally tell people I took all the way through advanced classical Greek. I took years of Greek. I think I still know like most of the alphabet and like a couple words, but if I don't use it, I lose it, man. If I don't use it, I lose it. But you're saying you retained it pretty well, so that's good. That's good.
I took level 1 ancient Greek because I wanted to join.
And you probably know more than I do.
And I had a tutor, so I went through it, and we read the Gospel of Luke in Greek, and it was really cool, like portions of it. And we read a lot of like the ancient Greek mythology, and we had to translate it, and we would translate it in class, and it was an amazing experience. I highly recommend it. It's just, what I think is really funny is these folks want to talk about something that they don't have knowledge on. They want to talk about, like, it's weird when I see what we call the Dawagandists talk about Christianity. I'm like, but you don't really understand the text. You don't understand the culture. You don't have this stuff. All you're doing is you're repeating the words of the text, and then you're kind of ripping the soul from the text, and you're not representing the text well. And I find that really kind of grotesque. They're like, well, Jesus is not God because I'm reading the text. I'm like, but you're not an expert of this text. You don't have the expertise to talk about this text, to say that what you know. You're using other scholars. You don't know the language, and you're just reading a translation. I'm like, and then you condemn people who critique Islam for the same thing, where you say, well, you don't know the language, so thus you can't talk about Islam. I'm like, are you consistent? Are you fair? I have problems with that. I'm very much into accountability and being fair, and I think we need to be honest in what we're doing.
Hey, when you started speaking a couple minutes ago, Issa. What did you bring up first?
About
You
studying
said
Greek or ability.
no,
Mental
before
health.
Oh
mental
yeah,
health.
yeah. I remember he was saying something. Yeah. I was right. I was like, oh, I wanted to say something about that. Yeah. So Thaddeus, you know more than I. But as far as Aisha, isn't it just like something like she thinks she has ADHD or something like that, and they're saying therefore mentally ill?
Yeah. And the irony is in the group chat, Hashem, who is the other main figure, he's actually the admin of the group chat. He's like, no, that is a very bad idea. That'll just make hijab look even worse because it'll mean he took advantage of someone.
Yeah, isn't that
and then
interesting?
Dean's
So
brilliant response.
yeah, so we'll say this. We'll attack this woman and discredit her by saying she's mentally ill. Really? So hijab took advantage of a mentally ill woman, and you all are like conspiring to attack a mentally ill woman. And then what's the mental illness? ADHD.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and someone in the group chat was blurred out. We don't know who it was, but someone in the group chat has said, well, if she's actually mentally ill, aren't we pushing her towards potentially pushing her towards suicide? And shouldn't we be concerned about that?
That's when
Hijab
said,
Muhammad Hijab himself.
Care.
Yeah, Muhammad Hijab himself jumps in and says, honestly, we shouldn't care. Which is just ridiculous.
Pretty sick, evil stuff. So now everyone is up to date. And we're about to watch a video of the latest from Issa's religion. Take these couple super chats here. Dawah guys are being framed to distract from Gaza. Yep. Issa is an expert in zootology. It's good to know that his people go way back. Dawah guys framed to distract from Brigitte Macron. Oh, these would be the Candace Owens conspiracy theories. Jizya so Issa can get a new camera. And love all my Christian apologetics reunite. All right, we ready to jump into this video?
Yep, I think we're ready.
Hijab mess with the wrong woman and ended up getting completely exposed. Let's see. Go to this video and... All right, here we go.
What do you do when you've been exposed? What do you do when the lies, the false testimonies, the hypocrisy, and the evil in your actions have unraveled and come to light on the world stage? For God-fearing people, they take it as an opportunity to recede, to take time off, to introspect, and deeply reflect on their mistakes. They try to rectify their wrongs, and they turn back to Allah in full repentance, seeking salvation, all while knowing the temporality of this life. In the past few months, we've already come to witness the cowardice of Muhammad Hijab as he went into hiding, afraid to directly face us and instead resorting to spewing lies through AI-based videos while employing others to defend him.
Isn't that strange? Big tough Muhammad Hijab won't face a woman, and Salman here, big tough guy.
Just to clarify there, but in one of the later videos, Behind Veils said, listen, let's stop all this behind the scenes nonsense, because Hijab didn't directly, but some of his goons sent him threatening messages and whatnot. It's like, you can come on, we can have a live stream, you, me, Aisha, and whoever you want to bring, let's do it. Let's get all the facts out there. And shockingly, Hijab didn't take that offer. Shockingly, I'm sure.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like you have Deez responds. Deez responds, did everything he could to defend Muhammad Hijab and was treating the whole situation like Hijab was telling the truth and Sister Aisha was the one who's lying and she's crazy and so on. But I mean, think if for some reason you're so insanely stupid and gullible that you believe Muhammad Hijab even with the fake AI this and the Photoshop that and the Elon Musk and all this, and even if you're stupid enough and gullible enough to go, well, this guy is the pillar of truth and justice in the world. Anyone who criticizes him must be lying or paid by Elon Musk. Imagine your D's response, and you fall for that. Like, wouldn't you be thinking, oh, they're offering an opportunity for Mohammed Hijab and everyone else to come and clarify and expose these lies, and they won't go near anyone who's been seriously investigating the issue, won't go near it. Like, Aisha's like, yep, let's do this. Let's do this. And she's like, let's have a mubahala. Let's have a mubahala. And then you got Salman, and they're going to all the evidence. And hey, if she's lying, she's the liar, she's lied about you, how easy would it be to sit down with everyone involved, get Sheikh Tirana in there, get Ali Dawah, get everyone together, and let the truth come out? And they won't come near it. Mm-hmm. They won't come near that stuff. It kind of says it. My point here is how Deez responds. Do you not look at that and go, okay, he is obviously lying. And I shouldn't take what he says seriously anymore because he's a liar. But you can't do that, man.
Yeah, you mentioned the Mubahala. Earlier during the investigation, before anything went public, Mohammed Hijab actually sent a message, a voicemail, to someone who was assisting Salman in gathering evidence. I guess he thought that they had something wrong. Maybe they did have something wrong. And he's like, let's have a Mubahala, bro. Let's have a Mubahala. And then it goes public and not a whisper, right? Not a whisper from him. Salman issued a challenge. Aisha issued a challenge. Ali Dawah issued a challenge, but not a peep from Mohammed Hijab, strangely enough.
Weird, wild stuff. All right, back to Salman here.
Today, we briefly touch upon three
but not in a zoot sense.
Individuals, all a part of the HP Dawah group, all who refuse to acknowledge their wrongdoings and remain defiant despite their involvement and collusion in one of the greatest cover-up attempts in the Dawah circuit. I want to preface by saying, these are just the three that you have already come to know about, but trust me, there are more to come. First up, Ali Dawah.
That's funny. When he put it on the screen, I thought, first up, Ali Dawah. And then he said it. That's awesome.
After being exposed with his deceitful attempts to dupe the public, colluding with Mohammed Hijab and team to attack Sister Aisha, and even getting caught red-handed presenting a maliciously fabricated and photoshopped screenshot with the purpose of framing the sister, he has disappeared. His videos defending Mohammed Hijab came to a standstill. And what about the questions we asked with the assistance of the public? Well, he has refused to answer them and instead chosen to go hiding in the shadows, not trailing far behind his captain, Mohammed Hijab. But there's something I want to share with everyone today. He wants you to think that he has no time for this and doesn't want to deal with it. But deep down inside, this has been burning him, eating away at him. Deep down, it is killing him.
Yeah, it is. And even though you have the people who will just blindly go, you have the people who don't care, right? So I suppose you have some people somewhere stupid enough to still believe Mohammed Hijab and Ali Dawah, that they're telling the truth. I'm sure there's some tiny minority who are like that. Most of their fans, I'm sure, are just, they don't care. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing with these women. I don't care if you're lying. I don't care what you're doing. We're totally fine with it. But I have seen tons of people, like over the months where we were covering this, calling them out. And Thaddeus, does it seem to you like their numbers are down? Like their numbers have been dropping? They seem like that to me.
I don't pay like close attention to their views or anything, but I do know that Ali Dawah went to Speaker's Corner almost every single week for the last 5 years, 10 years. And he went the week the scandal broke and hasn't been back since. And someone recently asked him why he doesn't go to Speaker's Corner anymore. He said, oh, it's a waste of time. Yeah, it's a waste of time, right? That's why you spent 5 years at least of your life going there almost every single weekend. And then the scandal breaks, and suddenly you don't want to go anymore. Very strange behavior. And that 1 week he did go, he got confronted and he got embarrassed pretty hard by a Muslim, I will say. A Muslim who also is a regular at Speaker's Corner confronted him and said, "Why are you covering up for Muhammad Hijab?" And he's like, "I was Islamically obligated to because," and then he just made up some complete nonsense, humiliated himself, and he hasn't been back. Although
Wait, he did go back. You remember his argument? Yo, we got the square. Yo,
Oh, true.
It
He
don't
went back
even
once,
be a triangle.
yes.
That be two different shapes. Yet this proved that Christianity false, isn't it?
That is true. He made a special exception for God Logic and went that weekend. But otherwise,
that went well for him.
He's just been appearing at random pop-up locations around London instead. Instead of going to Speaker's Corner, he just goes to some random spot, doesn't announce it in advance where he's going to be, and then just tries to talk to random people on the street. Common Dawah tactic: go to where people don't know who you are, or don't know your arguments, or don't know anything. But even there, he was confronted at least once, because he chose to publish the video, so he's probably been confronted more than once, by someone saying, "Hey, aren't you the guy who supports Buddha?"
Oh yeah,
And he's like, "No, that's a Shia thing.
Yeah,
we believe in Mishar, not Buddha."
Yeah, guess what? That's basically what he's admitting to in this video, isn't it? That it's totally correct. Hey, yo, I went to his channel and checked, and I was just basing this on, like, every time like an Ali Dawah video pops up somewhere, I'm like, doesn't he have 1.3 million subscribers? How is he not getting more views? So anyway, I'm on his most recent videos from 2 days ago. He's got a video called "They're Coming for Them," 15,000 views. 15,000 views. Now, for a regular YouTube channel, 15,000 views would be a lot of views. For someone with 1.3 million subscribers, that means his people are not clicking on that video. One before that, it had Myron Gaines in it, so it's a bit more popular, but 51,000. Before that, he's got all these hijabis on there, and it's 66. Then before that, Tommy Robinson, a Tommy Robinson video. Ali Dawah going after Tommy Robinson. That should be something big. 45,000 views. Again, this would be a lot of views for most channels and stuff. But once you're in, like you're like a million plus. If you're getting the views that would be decent for regular channels, but you should have a monster channel, that means some people are losing interest in you. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I did some analysis at one point on Ali Dawah specifically. I don't think he really has many loyal fans. He's very dependent on sensational topics, on clickbait, you could say.
Yeah,
Hijab has loyal fans, but not Ali Dawah.
And it's weird. I've never understood Ali Dawah, like people like getting tons of subscribers. Like, I don't get it. He sounds like a leprechaun. His arguments are like the most idiotic. Like, with hijab, the me strong, me humiliate you. I get that. I get why that's like impressive to people who think that way. Ali Dawah, I'm like, you can't look to him as like this super tough, strong guy humiliating the kuffar. He doesn't debate. He did one like semi-informal debate with AP and was like having a dude feed him grapes in the mouth, like the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen some weird stuff. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what to do, man. All right. Creepy stuff.
I want to ask about Ali Dawah. I saw that debate with him and Avery in the UK, and he had those like puzzle pieces, and I'm like, I don't know. This is something I don't understand, and I try to explain this to people. I'm like, if we're buying into religion and we're believing in God, and God is way beyond our comprehension, right? We're implementing, and I'm using this term lightly, and I don't want anyone to be offended. We're using magical thinking, right? We're using magical thinking, and I think it's really important to consider that when we're using this thing like magical thinking, that anything is up to the floor. So it's like you're attacking this concept of the Trinity, but it's like, why is your concept of God any greater?
just because you're saying God is one and that makes your position correct. Like it's a very it's a dishonest approach, I would say. If we're opening up the door to miracles and, things that are beyond, human logic, then I would say this opens the door to many things. So it's like, I just don't understand why you think these puzzle pieces are going to persuade people that your position is correct and the other position is wrong. And it's such a weird thing that I've seen in Muslim Dawah where they're like, well, the Christian, you have 3 gods, we have one God. This is the narrative I've heard. And I'm like, well, why do you say that? I said, do you understand how God operates? Like, are you the kind of expert on this? And if you're not, then why do you have so much ego and hubris to come and say that this other person's position on God is different? It's like, it's something I can't fathom or understand. And maybe y'all can explain that to me, but I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
I'll make it make sense. This is a square. This is a triangle. Something cannot be a square triangle. Now you get it. Now you get it, Issa. Now you won't be confused anymore about the power of Dawah.
He's cracking under the pressure, and he's feeling the heat. Not just from me, but from the public. There have been many people leaving comments on his videos, only to find themselves being blocked and their comments deleted. This man has been obsessed. We all witnessed his obsession with Muhammad Hijab, defending him by all means necessary. But brothers and sisters, I'm afraid to share today that his obsession did not stop with hijab. It is now with me. It is an obsession fueled with anger, with rage, and desperate attempts to get back at me personally, to get under my skin, to try and invoke a reaction. And from one aspect, he has succeeded. He did invoke a reaction. It is one filled with a feeling of sympathy, feeling bad for how he continues to humiliate himself. Despite going quiet in the public sphere on this issue, he has continued to text me directly. What you will witness is his childness, his immaturity, and his pathetic attempts to try and taunt me. Soon after I published the video with questions about a secret marriage, one done behind his wife's back, and with one of his frequent guests on the Bitter Truth show, he texted me the following.
So this is kind of what the cliffhanger that he left on a couple months ago was, hey, Ali Dawah, you want to talk about this woman from your show? You had her on your show, and then you take her to Mecca, and you marry her so that she's your hotel wife in Mecca, and we kind of tried to figure out what the deal was, and it's basically what everyone thinks happened, since this was taking the pilgrimage to Mecca, and she's just going to marry Ali Dawah for this trip to Mecca, that basically the trip to Mecca is expensive, so I'll cover your trip, but you're my wife for the trip. Mm-hmm. And so, hey, this trip's expensive. I'm going to give you a big pile of money and bang you in Mecca. So what is that? I'm giving you a bunch of money to have sex with you for a few days. What is that, guys? What is that? That's what he's doing with women who come on his show. That's what he's doing with women who come on his show. He's bringing on women to his show, The Bitter Truth, scoping them out, figuring out in the discussion who he can take advantage of, and then paying them for sex. And it's all completely legit, according to him and Hijab and everyone else there. What are you saying, Thaddeus?
So, yeah, I mean, you could call that a traveler's marriage, perhaps, which is the literal meaning of mishyar, or, sex tourism, or you could just be blunt and say prostitution. Your choice.
What are you saying, Issa?
A question of clarification. I'm a little confused. So Muhammad Hijab did this. Are you saying Bitter Truth did this too, or?
Yeah, this is Ali Dawah. Yeah, he's talking about Ali Dawah now.
Ali Dawah. So Ali Dawah's name is. I thought Bitter Truth is this
his
guy.
Show.
Salman.
No, this is Behind Veils. Ali Dawah has a show called Bitter Truth.
Thank you. I don't know all this stuff. I'm kind of like the character in the New World where you have to explain it. It's the same thing. Like on the channel that the channel that I'm on, my friend Max is here, my co-host is here in the chat, but we talk about flat Earth. I don't really know anything about it. It's kind of blows my mind that people believe in it, but I'm like, okay, cool. If that helps you in your life, I guess. But it's like I'm kind of new to this too, so you're gonna have to educate me on some of this stuff. So Ali Dawah's channel is called Bitter Truth, right? This is Behind Veils. Salman is Behind Veils. Ali Dawah's Bitter Truth, and then there's Muhammad Ijab. So Ali Dawah is doing the same thing that Muhammad Ijab is doing. He's trying to pick up
apparently it's just standard practice, because Muhammad Hijab said that he estimates that about 85% of the da'is are doing these polygamous marriages and stuff, and we see how they do it. And I'm still this will be in the near future. It's seriously messed up, but I mean, my video is going to be seriously messed up, but I don't know what else to do. My video is going to be messed up because it's a messed up situation. But the pimp game, in the pimp game, everyone, in the pimp game, you have what's called your bottom girl. This is a girl that you get as a prostitute, but then she's special and you use her to recruit other girls. You don't go out and look for more prostitutes. You have her, and it's understood a woman approaching another woman is way more likely to be successful in recruiting another girl than a man walking up to you saying, "Hey, you want to be my new prostitute?" You got a girl going to her going, "Oh, it's so great. It's the best thing. It's the best thing. We get to have so much fun and we make piles of money and everyone's so good to us." Andrew Tate talked about that with his cam girls. He doesn't go, "Hey, I want you to be my cam girl." He has his bottom girl who's saying, "Oh, you should do cam girl work. It's so fun. It's so great." And I'm sitting here looking at what these dudes do. And you've got Muhammad Hijab in his discussion with Daniel Hakikachu. And he's saying that the revert girls are the ones who take it best being used like this. They're the ones who take it best. And then you look at the whole situation and what they do. And what do? They get some girl to convert, but then they have her make all these YouTube videos inviting other girls to revert. But it's like, what are you guys doing? You're getting girls to recruit more girls, and then you're getting them to be your temporary wives, your second, third, fourth, fifth wives, and you're just like cycling through them nonstop, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and so on. You're just rotating them in, and you're rotating them in. And what is that? It's the exact same setup as the pimp game, and that's Dawah. That's standard Dawah. Apparently now is we get some pretty girl to convert, and she becomes our temporary wife and this and that, but we get her to go out and make TikTok videos to recruit more girls for us. One big pimp game. That's what Dawah is.
It just sounds like utter exploitation. This sounds like exploitation.
You think?
It sounds like trafficking. I mean, sounds like criminal. This is trafficking, exploitation. I'm like, I don't care what anybody's religion is, or it doesn't matter to me. This is disgusting and gross. And like what you're saying, it's horrific that someone would do this to another person. I'm like in my own mind, like I couldn't even fathom doing something. Like I would feel so sick with myself if I did something. Like I would feel guilt. I would feel extreme trauma. And I'm like, what about a conscience? Like, do these people not have a conscience? I don't know. Like that's the disturbing thing to me.
Yeah. And that's the real reason we've taken so much time. I mean, I've always taken for granted that these guys are doing messed up stuff behind the scenes, but the fact that they're basically just using women and turning them into prostitutes, it doesn't matter if it's Muslim women. That makes it worse that should make it worse from an Islamic perspective that you're doing this to your Muslim sisters. And it's like, if you do that to your Muslim sisters, what would you do to non-Muslim women and girls? Just extremely messed up. But anyway, guys, that's why we're extremely glad that Salman has continued exposing all this, and that's the reason we always try to go through the material Salman points out, because it's just a weird situation. We're all on the same page, Muslims, non-Muslims. This is messed up behavior from the Dawah guys, and they need to be exposed, and they need to keep being exposed until they realize they can't get away with this, and then they stop treating women like this. But there's a disease in Dawah. Salman is the cure.
Sounds like a heart disease, like a soul and heart disease. To be able to do these things, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Definitely. Just to clarify before we go on, since I didn't actually say it in the summary at the start, David alluded to it there, but in I think the second to last of Salman's videos, he raised a series of questions because Ali Dawah in his videos were like, why did you make accusation? Just ask questions, bro. Just ask questions. So he raised a set of very specific questions. Like, did you, I don't know, have your own secret second wife? And were you married in perhaps October 2023? And did you maybe go on the Hajj together? And was, I don't know, just super random guests. Random question here. Was she one of the four sisters on the Bitter Truth show? And of course, just asking questions, but I'd like some answers to that. And Ali Dawah obviously didn't answer any of those questions. So this is the follow-up here, right? And he is going to give some more information on those accusations.
Yeah. And I mean, think about this. Like, so one, we'd have never found out about this if Hijab hadn't finally exposed me and then it leads to everyone else being exposed who's connected to him. But think, I mean, how would Salman have known about Ali Dawah taking a woman from his show to Mecca for temporary marriage? I mean, it sounds like, I mean, either she or someone really close to her must have informed Salman. And yeah, it seems like there's a lot of messed up stuff going on, and now we've got some ladies who are exposing the stuff. And that's that should be horrifying to the Dawah guys because they've been doing all this stuff. See, guys, there's a power imbalance, and then there's a male to female issue that would keep women from coming forward, right? Like a Dawah guy, he knows if he treats a woman like a prostitute, is that woman going to want to come forward and say, hey, yeah, I acted like a prostitute. He gave me money. And then no, she's not going to want to say that. She's not going to want to admit that. They know that. Therefore, they know they can do it because the women are never going to want to be shamed among the Muslim community. So they rather just keep it quiet and pretend it didn't happen or something like that. But now if they're getting to the point, which I think is the situation with Sister Aisha, it's like, yes, it happened to me. Yes, I'm going to be shamed. Yes, I'm going to be attacked. Yes, all these guys with all their channels and all their fans are going to come at me. But you know what? I have to try and help. I have to try and keep this from happening to my fellow Muslim women. And if you get more ladies like that, I'm sure some really, really messed up stories are going to keep coming out.
Do you know there was something interesting? I went on like a voice chat or like Discord, and there was a chat, and I brought this up. I said, this is a really vile, horrible thing. And there were people that were trying to defend it. I was like, this is exposed. It's really bad, and we should just hold accountability. We can't hide this stuff. We can't go and just say this is okay because a person's a talker. I really don't care about what people say. I care about what people do. Are you going and helping the unhoused people or the homeless? Are you going and trying to make people have better lives? These are people who have value in my life. I don't care if the person comes and sits on a pedestal and they talk and they're loud and they're rude. That's not impressive to me. And it's really weird that people are impressed by it. Like you said that these people are impressed. I'm not impressed. It's not impressive. It's disgusting and gross. And it's like, so there are certain, Islam is a complex religion. There's a lot of different elements, and I'm going to be the first to say that. But there's a concept of adab and akhlaq, which means good manners and good character. This is an aspect that exists within Islamic tradition. And it's like weird that I don't see anybody having that. Like people having good character, respecting people and treating people with like dignity and stuff like that. I don't see it at all. And it's so weird and it's so creepy. And it's, I don't know what to say, but it like these things are, they hurt my heart. They bother me on a deep level.
Yeah. So you're bothered by the lack of good behavior and good manners. I'm appalled at the lack of hikmah. The lack of hikmah. Some people got the hikmah. These guys got zero hikmah. Like everything they're doing, you're like, how could you possibly be so low in hikmah? But they are. Weird stuff. All right. So he right now, Salman is going to share the text that Ali Dawah sent him responding to Salman pointing out that we know what you do. We know what you're doing with the girls who come on your show, that you're getting them for these temporary marriages and taking them on trips to Mecca and treating them exactly like anyone would treat a prostitute. Here's Ali Dawah's response.
Oh no, Salman, you hit me where it hurt. How could you do this to me? How will I get out of this mess now? You made me sound extra pious when I don't even deserve it. Marrying again, in Umrah, in Mecca, in Kaaba, Allahu Akbar, you're praising me too much, man. Like Abu Bakr said to those who praised him, may Allah forgive me for what you don't know about me and make me better than what you think of me. Salman, stop flattering me. And stop making dunya your whole dunya, man. Leave her alone now. She's married and moved on, and you're married too. It's like drinking poison and wanting dunya to die. Habibi, don't let dunya consume you.
There's a couple of really interesting things to extract from his message.
Yep, there are.
First, he essentially affirms the secret marriage that took place behind his wife's back.
Yeah, he said that, right? He said, "Oh, are you shaming me for marrying a woman for during the pilgrimage to Mecca? Oh no, oh, great, you're condemning me for being a devout Muslim." So that's acknowledging
Yep,
it, guys.
that's
It's
what he's
not.
saying.
Yeah, it's not. Oh no, I wouldn't do that. Oh, what do you? Why are you falsely accusing me? It's, oh, you're going to condemn me for doing something that's perfectly 100% halal certified? Let me back up real quick, because Salman points out that there's apparently a secret thing.
First, he essentially affirms the secret marriage that took place behind his wife's back. Second, he keeps engaging in ad hominems, trying to make me sound like I'm obsessed with my ex-wife. According to Ali Dawah, she's married now. Interesting, as most of the community here in Dallas is unaware of such. But, Adi, you must have spoken to her directly when you were so desperately trying to create a hit piece on me, one that chaotically backfired. But with regards to Dunya, if she is actually remarried, Allahumma barik. May Allah bless her marriage. I'm truly happy for her, and I hope this will be a means for her to stop slandering me behind closed doors, and an opportunity for her to repent, rectify, reform, and move on with her life.
Notice the difference, right? So apparently she's attacked Salman. What's his attitude? Hey, I hope she has a good life. Compare that with like Muhammad Hijab. Oh, this woman betrayed me, therefore she deserves to die, and we shouldn't care. Very different kinds of people here.
Yeah, let me just fill in a couple details from the history in case people don't know here. So Dunya is, in fact, Salman's ex-wife. She's actually the reason that he's, what happened to him in the divorce is part of the main reason he started the channel. She made all kinds of ridiculous accusations, accused him of trying to murder her, and other very serious accusations. And when he brought this to the Muslim community, because she was considered an important member of the community, they covered it up. And that's what motivated him to start this, knowing that this has happened to lots of people, not just him. He decided to start the channel, said, in the past, I've kind of just looked the other way. I can't look the other way anymore. I need to talk about this. So Ali Dawah, and it's on his own channel, right? That's the first videos on his own channel were about that situation. Ali Dawah, in his first response video, says, "Oh, how would you like it if we went and interviewed Dunya and we got all the dirt on you?" Well, that's exactly what we're going to do, because you see, we're just going to throw out accusations without any proof, just like you're doing. Well, I assume they did try to contact her, and she said, no, thank you. I've had enough drama. I don't want any more of this. Or maybe she actually realized she was in the wrong. I have no idea about her. But in any case, they were not able to interview her. So then he goes ahead with his plan, though, and releases all this secret material that Salman doesn't want anyone to know about. And it's all clips from his own video where he says the things that she accused him of and whatnot. And he's like, "You see how you like it? You're so obsessed with her," and she was never a part of any of this, right? Except for Ali Dawah dragging her in. And the Islamic word for this world is dunya. So he thinks this is this great joke. He says it like 50 times in that video.
Yeah, that's on the
You've
screen.
been Dunya, you're old Dunya. And then he just keeps saying it every time. Every time he talks about Salman, he says that.
Yeah, and it's like it's not even good. Like if you said it once, I'd be like, okay, you're making a little joke there and stuff like that. But it's like if that's your just go-to and you say it over and over and over again. I don't think he does it here, but yeah, in a previous video, he showed how many times Ali Dawah just makes the same stupid joke over and over and over again. But yeah, so Ali Dawah decided this was a threat. This was a threat to Salman. Hey, if you come after us, we'll expose you. He said, okay, fine, do it. I mean, but notice that's how they keep everyone in check. It's if you expose us, we'll do this to you. And most people are scared. They don't want it. They don't want to have their lives messed up. So they just let these guys keep getting away with it. Eventually you get down to like Sister Aisha and Salman and so on. So, okay, if we're not letting you get away with this stuff. And if you want to attack us and you drag us through the mud or whatever, okay, but we're not backing down off this. This is an evil manipulator's worst nightmare, right? People you can't manipulate into silence. And so hats off to Salman.
One other thing. Back in the day, like when Salman first created the channel, you know, I mean, he had some connection to the Dawah community, certainly not like a star or anything, but some connection. And Ali Dawah actually published a video defending him and saying that he was completely in the right and that his ex-wife was acting crazy. Ali Dawah deleted that video as soon as the scandal broke for some reason. So Ali Dawah in the past had defended Salman, but now he's attacking Mohammed Hijab. Oh, he's a monster. Interesting.
Awesome. Dawah's great, guys. Tell us more. Tell us more about why we should respect these guys.
But there is something far more interesting, something really, really interesting that Ali Dawah mentions.
It's like drinking poison and wanting dunya to die.
And if you rewind just a little bit, he reiterated the same phrase in a previous video.
Now you are in a big, big dilemma, Salman. A massive dilemma. Your obsession with dunya, making dunya your whole dunya, and your rage, like I said before, it's like the resentment you have towards dunya is as if you're drinking the poison and expecting her to die.
Wow, that's a powerful image from Ali Dawah. I always thought he was a complete idiot, but the fact that he could come up with something that brilliant makes me think, wow, this guy isn't as dumb as he sounds, because that is a powerful, powerful image. You drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. Wow, I didn't expect Ali Dawah to be able to come up with a saying like that. This guy's brilliant, unless he stole it. Let's see.
Drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You know the interesting part about it? I could have sworn that I heard this somewhere before, but where? Ah, that's right. It was a sister on the Bitter Truth show.
So I think the hatred has gone to that level. Sister, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so it's like I was drinking the poison hoping he would die.
Wow.
You know?
Do you hear Ali Dawah? Wow. Wow.
You know?
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
You know?
As if you're drinking the poison and expecting her to die.
Let me back this up.
You're drinking the poison and expecting her to die.
Drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You know the interesting part about it? I could have sworn that I heard this somewhere before, but where? Ah, that's right. It was a sister on the Bitter Truth show.
So I think the hatred has gone to that level. Sister, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so it's like I was drinking the poison hoping he would die.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
You know?
As if you're drinking the poison and expecting her to die.
It's like I was drinking the poison hoping he would die.
Ali Dawah looks like someone is still obsessed with their ex-wife. All I can tell you is that it's not me.
So apparently Ali Dawah gets these ladies on his show so that he can pick more mutta wives and then to steal their lines from them and pass them off as his own brilliance. What a dork, man.
I think it's pretty clear that Salman's saying that is his Mecca wife there. His temporary wife that went on Hajj with him is that woman you just saw. And now he's borrowed that phrase from her.
So he was involved with this woman? Is that what happened?
Oh, I don't know if that Thaddeus is basically speculating there, but no, he would. I don't know. I mean, he's had various ladies on his channel before. What?
Yeah, well, someone said looks like someone's obsessed with his ex-wife, but it isn't me.
Oh, okay.
So Salman's saying,
I didn't catch that.
That is the woman, right?
I thought he was leading into the next, leading into more information on something. But yeah, that would make sense. Oh, if so, that was a sick burn then. That was a sick burn. If he's like, oh, you're repeating her line. It sounds like someone's obsessed with his ex-wife. Oh, man. No recovering from that, Ali Dawah.
It's very strange to me when I'm hearing this kind of drama. It's like...
You think this is strange?
It's, just like the degree of exploit. Like, I'm just telling you, like, a little bit about my family. If someone did something like this in my family, it would be a huge scandal. Like on my father's family, if someone did secret marriages and had other wives and did all this kind of stuff, it would be a huge scandal. This would not be okay. It would be completely wrong. And it was interesting. We watched a video before, and he said, Mohammad Hijab and Daniel Hakikachu were having a discussion. They said, the South Asian people don't do it. And it's true, they don't. This is this huge stigma. Maybe newer generations who are aligned with this, but
that's because the Al-Zut do other things, man.
You're bad. You're naughty. But I was just like, to me,
he called me naughty.
I think for me, I'm like, this idea, it's so horrendous. Like this idea of just going around and, you're, I don't know, it's like kind of like a trap. You're luring women onto your show. Because this is one thing I wanted to share too. And I'm sure you both know this, and the audience probably knows this too. Islam has a big purity culture that's similar in Christianity. This is a big, important thing, at least, we see in modern day, I would say across the spectrum. Purity culture is a big, big thing. So like, men and women hanging out, it's like a problem for a lot of people. Like your standard, the standard Muslim community, it's a very big problem. So it's strange. And you're right in this. I know in the sources there's complexities. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm aware of that. But I'm like, in modern society, in modern Islamic society, these types of things, it's like, it's very strange where you have this kind of two ends of the pendulum, where you have like hyper purity culture and then hyper
promiscuous,
hedonistic. I will call it a hedonistic culture. You have the hedonistic culture and you have this hyper, stoic, puristic culture. And it's like, there's kind of like a shell shock that exists in between both of these spaces. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that element exists within the community, and that's something that's hard to navigate.
He put that up there to emphasize his sick burn on Ali Dawah.
But it doesn't stop there. Soon after the HP Dawah chats were revealed, including their orchestration and collusion in trying to character assassinate Sister Aisha, once again, Ali Dawah sends me another text message.
Salman! How can you do this to me? Salman! My whole reputation is finished. You destroyed me. No.
So they got the AI Ali Dawah voice. Hey, Salman, if you ever want someone to read Ali Dawah's messages, I think I'm better than AI at this. Just wanted to point that out. All right. So what was that? Salman. I'll even do it like Ali Dawah. Salman, how could you do this to me, Salman? No, it doesn't work. Ali Dawah writes differently from the way he speaks. That's interesting. So Salman, how can you do this to me? Salman, my whole reputation is finished. You destroyed me. No. How will I recover? That's all he does, apparently, is mock in response as he's being completely destroyed.
Recover. Ha. You're hilarious, man. So Dawah brothers coming together to defend another person who's been falsely accused makes them complicit when she was working with enemies of Islam? Ha.
Hey,
and
that's
having
us.
boy talk and making jokes makes us hypocrites? Ha. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Alhamdulillah, our dawah continue.
Let's break this down. First,
what's up?
I have a quick question of what he said. He said enemies of Islam.
That's
so
us.
Is he Islam? I don't know what an enemy of Islam is.
No, that's us. That's us. I mean, specifically me, Abdullah Samir, She tried to contact us, so he's saying she worked with the enemies of Islam.
I understand that. No, I understand what you mean, that he's referring to.
We're your enemies, Issa.
Well, what I'm asking, honestly speaking, is like, it sounds like a place of arrogance. I'm being kind of facetious and rhetorical here. I'm like, he's saying enemies of Islam. How does he not know he's an enemy of Islam? Maybe he's an enemy of Islam.
That's true.
Why,
I mean,
why are you the enemy of Islam?
yeah, I have to say, who's
Maybe you're a friend of Islam and he's the enemy of Islam. Like, this is the weird framing, is that it's such arrogance. It's like, I am the right guy. I'm the good guy. How do you know that? How do you know you're good? How do you know that?
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. You got to get, and we're proud of that.
We're proud of
He
that.
states they were coming together to defend another person who's been falsely accused. This no longer requires a response, as everyone has seen the countless pieces of evidence, and we have exposed the cover-up without a shadow of a doubt. And that's exactly why Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah are both terrified and petrified to join us and challenge us in a live and public discussion. And that's also why their manhood is nowhere to be found. Second is this constant attempt to label Sister Aisha as working with the enemies of Islam, or even herself being a certified enemy of Islam. We'll address this in more details at a later time, inshallah. But I'd love to hear Ali Dawah elaborate on exactly what information she was secretly providing others about Islam. I hope she didn't leak the X-Files about our religion that we safeguard so dearly and are concealed in some high security vault somewhere in the mountains of Switzerland. Because if that got leaked out, surely we'd all be doomed. Third is how he coins the group's vulgar and obscene joking as boy talk. Newsflash, that's not acceptable within our deen. Our Prophet ﷺ said, a believer is not one who taunts, nor one who curses, nor one who is indecent, nor one who is foul-mouthed. Ani, this isn't just sharing your vulgar jokes between you and Muhammad Hijab. This is in a group of 75 du'at located all around the world with the purpose of discussing deen-related matters. So go ahead, keep trying to justify your dirty mind and your dirty jokes as just boy talk. But I will say there is one thing you revealed about yourself. You are still a boy, as real men do not go into hiding when challenged with the truth.
Poor Ali Dawah. Right, so here we have, I'm guessing, another AI. Here we go.
If he was a real man and husband to Dunya, she wouldn't have left you. Aki, get over it. Don't let her consume you. She's probably married now to a real man who knows how to be a man. Usually in these situations, I blame the man. You may have been moving feminine and she didn't like that maybe. Don't make your whole dunya. Move on, Habibi. I'm looking forward to more videos. Don't stop. Do you dream about dunya? You're obsessed with the woman. Ha 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 ha. Assalamu alaikum.
Subhanallah. Wow. Sometimes people expose themselves better than anyone else ever could. And Ali Dawah just did that. Your message isn't a rebuttal, it's not a defense, it's a tantrum, and it reeks of bitterness and desperation. Ani, I understand. You're humiliated. You've been caught deceiving the public, and now you're flailing, trying to claw your way back with playground insults about dunya. But we're not children. Personal attacks won't erase the evidence. Mockery won't undo the lies, and sarcasm won't save your crumbling credibility. You've made it clear this isn't about truth. It's about revenge. You were exposed and now you're lashing out like a boy who knows he has no defense. But here's the reality. No amount of deflection will change the fact that you tried to mislead the entire ummah.
Oh, it's hurting. Ooh, it's probably...
And for those still unsure about who's really obsessed, here's the selfie Ali Dawah recently sent me.
What is wrong with this dude, man?
You can't make this stuff up.
Who is that?
The projection.
I don't know. He's with some, what is that, a Power Ranger? What is it?
Yeah, it looks that way. I assume it's some a friend of his in a motorcycle helmet or something, but yeah, it does kind of look like a Power Ranger.
You made your whole dunya. This is what Ali Dawah was sending him text messages saying.
Wild.
Super genius.
You can't make this stuff up. The projection couldn't be more obvious. As we all witnessed in the bombshell revelations from the HP Dawah WhatsApp group, Hashim wasn't just a passive observer. He played an active role in orchestrating the smear campaign against Sister Aisha. He even confirmed that Muhammad Hijab had a misyar marriage with her, the very thing Hijab tried to deny publicly.
So there was no marriage, right?
Misyar marriage. It became Messiyar.
And since then, Hashim has gone silent.
Isn't that interesting? They knew it. Sitting there, but he's being framed. They knew it. They knew what happened.
Not a word.
And then he laughs about it, right? He makes a joke and then he laughs about it. Because someone in the group didn't know. Like someone actually genuinely was like, is this a true story or not? Right? So there was no marriage. And he's like, oh yeah, there was. It was a misyar marriage.
It's misyar marriage, but now misyar, ha 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 ha. Which means these guys, I mean, at least people who are paying attention, they knew it was true. And yet they all conspired to frame her as someone who's lying about all of this.
Which means, in addition to knowing it was true, they all know Muhammad Hijab is lying because he's saying it never took place. And they don't care. They don't care that Muhammad Hijab is lying.
They're fine with it. They're fine with him lying. And they're fine attacking a woman who's telling the truth. Why? Because if, according to Muhammad Hijab, almost all these guys are doing this, you don't want whistleblowers. You don't want people exposing this stuff, and then everyone starts exposing it, and then you're all exposed. You don't want that. So what do? You conspire to get rid of her and prop up the liar as your hero. Welcome to Dawah.
Not a clarification, not even a hint of remorse for his role in this deception and cover-up. But despite his silence, the truth has a way of catching up. Recently, at Speaker's Corner, the very place where free speech and open debate are supposed to thrive, Hashim was confronted. Not by a scholar, not by an activist, but by a 16-year-old boy. Someone apparently known as Young Bob.
Young Bob!
Hashim, I now call you a scumbag because on a leaked WhatsApp group chat with 72 Dahi, you said, and I quote, you should make it on a video that Muhammad Hijab lied about not being about him. She doubted the Quran and that she had mental health issues.
You're not old enough to talk about marriage.
Yes, I actually am, because I am of the age of puberty.
Call your mommy
so
and
Hashim.
Subhanallah. Rather than address the core issue, the lies, the accusations, the misyar marriage, the manipulation, Hashim deflects with condescension, dismissing the boy simply because of his age. And when that doesn't work, he runs, not metaphorically, but literally to the police.
Excuse me, guys.
Yes, go on.
This guy's been harassing me. I told him I'm wrong.
What'd you say?
I said, you want to pause it for a second?
Okay.
The irony, right, of a Muslim saying, you're too young to talk about marriage. You're only 16.
Yeah, 16. You're too young. So according, who is that? Hashim?
Yeah, Hashim.
So just to clarify, according to Hashim, 16 is too young to get married. Thaddeus, how are you not making a video out of that, man?
Yeah, I mean, 16, too young to get married.
All right, we heard it here, folks. You can't even talk.
Condemns his prophet, right?
You can't even talk about marriage at 16, according to Hashim from Speaker's Corner. You heard it here, folks. So whoever stands condemned by those words is condemned. All right, we're good. All right, funny. It's awesome. It's awesome having Young Bob in a Behind Veils video exposing all these guys.
He's a treasure, isn't he?
I think there's something interesting here. It's like these people don't want accountability. They're just like, well, I'm going to just try to get away with doing criminal things, and it's okay because, I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to do this. We were talking earlier about fraud, right? And it's like we're going to do affinity group fraud. Where like we're in this group. We're going to cover for each other because we have an affinity to each other. So we'll just cover for everybody, and we'll kind of make it so that no one can kind of penetrate what's going on. So I mean, it's a lot of courage that these people are doing to kind of come out and say this is unacceptable what you're doing. And I actually appreciate that both of you are doing this. This needs to be done. It doesn't matter if they're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist, it doesn't matter. But if this is what's happening and people are doing, really shady, bad things, they need to be called out. And I think that it's right to do that. And it's very weird when people want to hide it. It really just, it kind of challenges the person's character when, people are just like, we're just going to hide this stuff. We're going to sweep it under the rug. We're not going to take accountability because we're promoting religion. Like, that's the argument. I'm like, then your whole religion just falls apart. Like, what is if you're not based on a good foundation, if you're not based in nobility and integrity, then what you're promoting doesn't have integrity or nobility. So it's disgusting, and it's really sad that he uses ageism. Oh, and I wanted to say one other thing. You know what's funny? I think we're talking about Muslim Me Too. It's the Muslim Me Too movement. That's what we're doing here. Muslim Me Too movement.
Yeah, there was
we have to trust women, right? Muslim Me Too.
This was like probably 2016, 2017, but they started after the Me Too movement started. It was the mosque Me Too movement, but this was all women talking about being groped and sexually assaulted during the pilgrimage to Mecca. They said it's just like a free for all. You're sitting there walking around the Kaaba, and guys are just feeling you up left and right, and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, and now we have, I guess, part two. Part two is exposing the Dawah guys. But this is another situation. This whole situation with young Bob. Think about this. This is all this right here is 100% the result of Hijab's ego. He refused to let Sister Aisha just warn women about what's happening, and then all these guys who are part of the cover-up, they're getting called out. So how did we know about Hashim? We knew about it from behind veils. So young Bob watches the behind veils videos, sees what Hashim did, that Hashim knows that Hijab was lying. He knows it. And he's part of the plot to defend Hijab and attack Sister Aisha. And what happens? This all gets exposed. Behind veils exposes this, and then young Bob ends up calling him out at Speaker's Corner, and Hashim has to run like a sniveling coward. Why? Hijab. This, guys, don't chain yourself to a sinking ship. It's a bad idea. All right, let's let Bob continue cooking here.
Talk to you, and he keeps following me.
Who said that?
Hashim on our secret group chat in trying to hide the scandal of Muhammad Hijab.
Yes, the same man who stands at Speaker's Corner every week lecturing others about Islam, morality, and truth couldn't handle being questioned by a teenager. Let that sink in. In a place known for fierce debates where heated discussions are common, Hashim ran to the police because someone asked him about his own words. And not just anyone, a 16-year-old. But wait a second, Hashim. Aren't many of these same police officers, by your logic and by your definition, considered kuffar? So why run to them now? Isn't it amazing how quickly these du'at abandon their bravado when their lies are exposed?
Help me, kuffar! Help me, kuffar! There's a 16-year-old boy asking me questions. Help me, kuffar! What a freaking coward, man. Gosh.
Yeah, Salman missed an opportunity there. He could have said they ran to the enemies of Islam, right? He ran to the enemies of Islam.
Oh, Thaddeus, come on, man! You're coming up with these awesome ideas. That's another video. Everyone catch that? What was their main accusation against Sister Aisha that showed how evil she was? She tried coming to us for help, and we eventually did interview her. That's look how evil she is. She's running to the enemies of Islam. Who does Hashim run to when young Bob, a 16-year-old kid, is pestering him with questions? He runs to the kuffar, the enemies of Islam. You bunch of hypocrites. My goodness, here we go.
Week, young Bob returned, undeterred, but what happened next was even more vile. This time, it wasn't just Hashim. His sidekick, Siraj, joined the circus, not to clarify the lies, not to speak the truth, but to shield his friend and hurl disgraceful insults in the process. And what you're about to witness next reveals the true nature of these so-called du'at.
Hashim, do not speak to the audience, especially about women, because you abuse women.
Let that sink in. A 16-year-old had the courage to say what so many grown men remain too cowardly to admit. He called out the elephant in the room, that when you're complicit in the abuse of a woman, you'll lose the moral authority to speak about them, especially in public.
That's correct. You're abusing women. You're participating in cover up a scandal. Frame a woman, a Muslim woman who's just trying to help other Muslim women not get taken advantage of by a bunch of sick, disgusting Dawah guys. And you guys sit there lecturing. You lose the right. You lose the right to lecture everyone else on morality.
Audacity of Hashim to continue preaching while privately degrading and vilifying a Muslim sister is nothing short of outrageous.
Hey, by the way, dog, come here.
Yeah.
Let's
I remember we joined your line. Yeah, Hashim.
Come, dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doggy,
Is that how you treat women?
I treat you, dog.
Okay.
Are you a dog?
No.
You're
a woman
Jesus
abuser.
says dog.
Yeah, of course.
Jesus
But
says
you're a woman
dog.
abuser.
You're a dog. Come
By
follow me.
Islamic merits, you are a
Guys,
woman.
this is my dog. He's
Yes,
following
of course.
This isn't just childish. It is vile. It is derogatory. It is repulsive. It is sickening. Faced with serious accusations about his role in covering up abuse, Hashim doesn't deny it. He doesn't explain his actions. He doesn't even defend himself. Instead, he devolves into animalistic mockery, shouting dog over and over like a playground bully who ran out of arguments and cannot defend himself. This is the intellectual bankruptcy of a man caught in his own filth, unable to climb out, so instead he barks. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ said, a believer is not one who taunts, nor one who curses, nor one who is indecent, nor one who is foul-mouthed.
Hashim.
Come follow me, dog. Come follow me, dog.
Stop abusing women, Hashim.
By the way, is he grooming you still?
No. Are you grooming
you?
Are you grooming?
Is David grooming you?
So in response to a valid accusation.
So the guy they just passed, that's David, and his response to, hey, what's going on with how you guys are dealing with women? He says, David is grooming you. David is grooming you. David is grooming you. That's the response.
Mm-hmm.
Blackfire
So,
said,
a bit of projection.
you are being groomed by David.
What's that?
I said it might be a bit of projection there. Right, that's the first thing he thinks of as he sees this teenage boy.
Oh, look, there's a teenage boy,
man.
and yeah, he's around someone else. So that person must be grooming him. It's the only explanation for why they're hanging out here at Speaker's Corner.
And you,
Danny Davis grooming
and
you.
by your own words, you are abusing
Come, dog,
women.
come, follow me,
of course. I am a dog.
What's crazy? I mean, again, like Muhammad Hijab has made it a complete nightmare for these guys to do Dawah. It's at Speaker's Corner now. You can't. Because why? Because it was like a Speaker's Corner group chat where they were planning all this stuff. So a bunch of these guys are involved, and now what are they doing? This is their life. They go to Speaker's Corner and they do Dawah, and now they get called out every time. Smart Hijab.
And you're a woman abuser.
What was that, Issa?
One thing I was going to say, it was interesting that he brought up dogs. I'm like, I don't know. I think dogs are really amazing. It's very funny to hear this. And I'm like, even Islamically, it's straight. So again, there's contradictory elements. And I'm about
to pull out Bukhari all over you, man.
But you know what's interesting? That the Quran has, in Surah Al-Kahf, the cave, it talks about a dog that protects the cave. So it's strange. There's multiple narratives. You
That's
get what
before Muhammad ordered his followers to kill dogs.
I saw Islamicized me. I'm familiar with.
And Issa's sitting here laughing about all the poor dogs.
I'm laughing. I'm just remembering your scene in the movie that you had made.
That was true. That was a funny. It
was
scene.
wild. It was wild.
That was wild.
Gosh! I wonder if I was in a movie like that. If I was in your movie, I wonder what role I would play.
Hey, you could be in our remake of Islamicize Me, man.
I wonder what people would think. Like, what's wrong with this guy? But I think it's weird because this obsession with dogs is so strange. I mean, it's like it's complex because you have contradictory elements, and I think that's the issue with what Behind Veils is saying. There is a part of Islam that says exactly what it's saying, and then there's another part within the traditions that say something different, and we have to understand that there are elements that may contradict with each other. I'm like that is something that could arise, and I grant that. I think that the issue is that this like obsession against dogs is so weird. I'm like, dogs are such lovely animals. Like it's such a bizarre, you know, and there's lots of different kinds of dogs, but like Labradors, Golden Retrievers.
Yeah, I have to
like,
say, I mean, there are of course like mean and nasty dogs in the world and stuff like this, but yeah, I don't trust anything that's just anti-dog. I mean, a good dog will like lay down its life to protect.
Yeah.
I saw this. I remember this from when I remember this from when I was a kid. But it was a dog. They had the dog outside in the doghouse, and he was on a chain, and a fire broke out in the house. The dog ripped out of its chain and tore through a door. They had video of the dog just went berserk, like attacking the door, and he finally got it and he just starts ripping it, and he finally like gets his head through there and he's like ripping the door apart with its neck. I mean, a door is hard to get through, guys. A door, I mean, if you have a sledgehammer or something, an axe or something like that, you could do it. But just go to a door and start gnawing on it with your teeth until you break a hole, and to do it in this frenzy. Anyway, the dog gets in there, saves the whole family. Dog's got like chunks of door all in its neck and stuff like this. And so, Issa, I cannot support your hatred of dogs, I have to say.
You're funny. It's just really interesting because I was thinking about I would probably adopt a dog like a police. I was thinking about adopting a police dog. You know, those dogs that, go for like narcotics and stuff. Because I mean, they need a home after they finish their job being a police officer. So I'm like, I'll have a retired officer that I get to live with,
You're a woman abuser.
Come, doggy.
You're a woman abuser.
You're being groomed, I heard.
Okay.
Why is
and
David,
I have
David
heard
abusing you?
by your own WhatsApp group
Why
chat
is David abusing
that you are abusing
Why
women.
is David abusing you?
Stop abusing women.
Why is he abusing you?
David will
does your
stop
mother and father know that?
Okay, of course
You're
they
being
do.
abused.
Yes.
Okay, do you know that? Do you
Does
know that you are a dog?
Ali Dawah Muhammad
Do you know
Hijab, they
that
all
Jesus
know
calls
that
you
you
dog?
abuse
Matthew
women.
15.
This is next level gaslighting and deflection. Rather than confront the fact that he helped.
I have to say, I love the dynamic here. Like Salman, he gets the info, exposes it. Young Bob is horrified. He goes and calls them out. They get it on video of him calling out using what they got from Salman, and then Salman plays the video showing what these guys are bringing on themselves with their egos and terrible behavior. Awesome stuff. This is everyone working together, ladies and gentlemen, and we're playing it too. Awesome times.
Coordinate a smear campaign against a Muslim sister in a secret group chat. Hashim hurls wild accusations at a teenager, accusing him of being groomed, abused, and even projecting his own abusive behavior onto the boy. It's disgusting, it is cowardly, and it's a textbook example of psychological manipulation, shifting blame with baseless claims while avoiding the mountain of evidence stacked against him. Just a few seconds later, Siraj intervenes, trying to distract young Bob while Hashim tries to flee from accountability.
Listen,
people who
all
abuse
Christians
women.
Okay,
You
born
then
outside
harass them.
wedlock. Why did you born outside wedlock?
Wait, if you find me,
Why did you born outside
find me-
wedlock? Your dad abused your mom.
This dude, you see this? This dude comes over to try and rescue Hashim and starts going, "Your dad abused your mom. Your dad abused your mom." Isn't it interesting that you come to them and call them out for something they actually did, and they respond by just making up tons of stuff? I have to say, this reminds me of what they're like when we point out something from their sources and then they make up stuff about the Bible. It's a weird mentality, man. But that's Dawah.
Okay.
You born outside
Okay.
wedlock, bastard, and
Now,
not welcome.
now the Muslims
what's your
hold to the
point?
same standards
Nah,
as the
I'm dealing
Christians.
with him. Just
Okay,
deal with me.
so
Okay, I'm gonna
Hashim,
say-
why do you abuse women? Answer the
Why
question.
your dad abused
We have
your mother?
screenshots of you being an admin and you being complicit
By
in
the way,
the
are these
abuse of
Christian
women.
dogs?
Yes, of course. So, Hashim,
What? Were you raising your hand?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt the video. Why is he bringing up his mom? What does his mom have to do with this situation? Like, that's really disgusting to bring up someone's parents. Like,
That's what they do, though. I mean, specifically, that's Siraj. That's specifically what he does. If you say something, he'll go after something like whatever he thinks might be dear to you, and just start making things up and saying horrible things. But he's a regular at Speaker's Corner. Powerful Dawah.
And, you know,
What's that?
I was just gonna say, and Hashem's completely complicit, right? He's not
Yep.
saying like stop that or
Yeah, he's
anything.
not saying, hey, it's a
right? I mean, not that he
16-year-old
was
kid,
doing
quit
much
making stuff
better.
up.
He was calling him a dog, but I guess it is kind of worse to go after his parents than the person you're actually talking to. Either way, it's childish and pathetic, but it is actually kind of even worse to go after someone who's not even there, right? Has
Yeah.
nothing to do with anything. And you made a very good point a second ago, David, where you're like,
I did?
you know, this is they you may not have realized it, but you're saying like, you know, they project. They say you bring up a legitimate criticism of the Bible, and then they make something up about, or I mean, of the Quran, and then they make something up about the Bible. And I found that all of Muslim polemics, whether it's this kind of nonsense or it's, you know, arguments against Christianity, it's all projection. It's all intended to cover up a weakness in their own beliefs. Whatever they say, like, you know, they say, the Trinity is so confusing. And it's to cover up a deficiency in their own religion where their own doctrine of God doesn't make any sense. You ask a bunch of different Muslims, I mean, they'll all say he's one, right? He's absolutely one. But then you try to get them to explain what that actually means, and they have many different contradictory ideas, none of which are coherent. So all of their things are designed to cover up weaknesses in Islam. And that's why as soon as someone comes to them with criticism, the first thing they think of is something about sexuality, right? Often Muslims will come in the chat when I'm having a conversation with Mary, and they'll be like, your dad abused or raped your mom, Mary, or your dad raped you, Mary. And it's like, that's not the first thing I would think of as an insult, right? Like, I get they're upset. I don't get like they don't like what we're saying, but like, I would say you're stupid or something along those lines, something that's actually at least kind of relevant if I'm upset. I wouldn't be like immediately, your parents raped you. I mean, it's just really bizarre, but that's where their mind goes because that's how things are in the world they observe.
And think about how it's always the same. It's always the same thing, right? Like, Sister Aisha, hey, if you're not letting me at least warn women, I'm going to expose you. Well, then we will expose you and we will make you look bad, right? Salman, hey guys, I'd like to help with this situation. You need to apologize. We can deal with this behind the scenes. And if you don't want to deal with it behind the scenes, I'm going to have to go public. Well, if you do, then we will expose you. We will expose you. And here you have young Bob calling them out for something. Oh, we will insult your mother. We'll call you a It's always, if you're going to expose us for what we're actually doing, we are going to make you really uncomfortable by heaping insults and abuse on you. What does everyone have in common who's responding to this in this video right now have in common? Sister Aisha, she doesn't back down from it. Salman doesn't back down from it. Young Bob doesn't back down from it. And it's like, you have this method that will work with certain people. Now you're down to people that it doesn't work with. And what do? You're going to call the cops on them like a coward.
Mm-hmm. Dogs follow me.
Yeah.
My dogs can follow me.
Yes.
My dog, come on.
Are you against?
I'm asking you as a Muslim.
Yes or no?
Okay. Yes, of course.
Yes. Okay. Why you're not against your dad?
Why?
Because your dad slept with your mom outside wedlock.
No, she didn't.
And it's haram.
When did
it's
she?
No,
she didn't.
prohibited. Yes, you're a child of bastard. Prove it wrong.
Prove
Show
me.
me. Show me.
How am I supposed to prove
yes,
that
because
wrong?
I know. Christians do not marry. No, Christians do not marry. We know this.
Said Christians do not marry.
For a fact, Christians,
Well,
they
my
do
parents
marriage
aren't
after
Christian.
They sleep together.
Well, my parents
as in
aren't.
boyfriend and girlfriend, majority of them.
Well,
and then they
Issa's
marry later. Yes.
So in
Prove
response,
that you're not bastard. He born outside marriage.
Oh, is he?
So
No.
his dad
Is it the
abused-
milkman?
Huh?
His dad
Was it the
abused.
milkman?
His
No.
dad
Who's your
abused
daddy?
his mother.
Who's your daddy?
Who's
His
yours?
dad
Who's your daddy?
Last time you said the guy is African.
That is the gingerest ginger I've ever seen in my entire life. That is like if Pippi Longstocking was a dude.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me.
But
want to go to
Hashem
Wendy's.
actually demonstrated how Dawah works there, right? So Siraj just makes something up out of nowhere, saying that he was born out. Bob was born out of wedlock, and Hashem said, "Oh, that's definitely true," and then starts repeating it himself. Now, I mean, he probably doesn't necessarily really believe it, but it is very illustrative of how these things tend to go, right? Someone makes something up, and then everyone repeats it.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
Yeah, I-
My dad
Who's
is
your
a
dad,
wonderful
bro?
man.
Who's your dad?
He's a wonderful man.
Who's your dad?
He's a wonderful man.
Yeah, go away.
No,
Go that way.
I refuse.
Go away.
There's no need to push me.
I'm not pushing. I'm trying to turn
You
around.
clearly are. Now, look, Hashim, you can either be a man about these accusations, or you can cower behind other people.
No,
he's going to go with the second one. He's going to go with the second one.
Talk about your dad.
Okay, I will.
No, talk about your dad
Wait.
from the camera.
This is vile beyond comprehension.
Yep.
Siraj doesn't defend Hashim. He doesn't deny the leaked chat. He doesn't question the facts. Instead, he attacks young Bob, mocking his family, his parents, and his very birth by calling him a bastard. This isn't Dawah. This is degeneracy. This isn't just an ad hominem. It's a moral implosion. These are the very people who claim to represent Islam, and yet they stoop lower than the enemies they claim to oppose. This isn't Dawah. It is spiritual rot.
But Hashim, you are abusing a woman by claiming that she is an apostate. You said that if we claimed that she had a mental deficiency.
What's up, Issa?
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but there was something that I think is really important to engage. And it's something that I've noticed in this so-called Dawah scene. And like I said before, I know there's things that might contradict, but there is a verse of the Quran, I'm sure you know, that said that Muslims are commanded not to attack other people's gods. Like, you can't debate people and say that your God is false because they'll attack your God, right? There is an injunction to do that. But I noticed
that's Surah 6, verse 108, everyone.
Yes. And that's an injunction. So, but these people are violating that injunction over and over again. So, like, attacking the Trinity.
Yeah,
mocking-
actually they are, because when you bring up 6108, I'm thinking of situations where, because the actual background for 6108 is you had people in the Ummah who were making fun of the gods and goddesses of the polytheists. And the polytheists eventually said, well, we'll make fun of your God and your religion and your prophet too in return. And then the command came, well, if don't do that. Stop the insults, because it's going to cause them to insult your religion in return. Now, we do see commentators and so on who say that, but if you have control, if you have power over them and they can't insult you in return, then it's fine to insult. But look at the situation that they're in right now. They are 100% in a situation where people have the ability to insult back, and they keep doing it anyway. So yeah, they are in complete, total violation of the Quran, and they don't even care. Wild. What?
And I actually agree. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was going to say, I actually had a Muslim come into the a chat like a week ago, quoted that verse to tell me to shut up. And then I explained it and said, okay, you need to shut up. And then he started insulting my God. It was so weird.
Was that
he literally
was that Muslim's name Issa perchance?
No. Okay. I think it was Muhammad, but it might not have been.
But I think what's interesting is there's lots of violations that people do, and we'll talk about the Islamic dilemma later, but that's something that blows my mind when I see Muslims attacking the Torah, attacking the New Testament. I'm like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're attacking your own scriptures. And then you try to say, well, they're phantom texts. We're going to talk about this later, I know, but I'm like, it's a part of the same package. I'm like, you're saying, well, the Torah and the Zabur and the Injil, these are Islamic texts, right? And then you say, well, I'm going to start mocking these texts. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you mock your own texts and mock your own tradition? Because this is your tradition too. And you can make up stories to try to say it's not your tradition, but then that hurts you, because then you have no legitimacy of a lineage. You don't have, if you're erasing your lineage, then you have no lineage. If you want to claim the Hebrew prophets, you want to claim this ancient tradition, then you got to go with it. And if you don't want to do that, then you don't have a foundation for your house. So that's a huge problem. We'll talk about that more. We'll unpack that more. But I'm like, it's all a part of the same package here of lots of problems with this so-called Dawah.
And it's weird because this is kind of small scale right now, in that, I mean, think about it. I mean, young Bob wasn't like insulting God, or he was asking a person about why he was part of this plot to destroy the reputation of a Muslim woman, and they instantly start going, after his parents and your mom and you're a dog and stuff like that. But this is kind of like a micro scale in that it's one person insulting another, but it's also true on a much bigger scale that these are the guys who are representing Islam on like YouTube and so on, Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawah, and it's causing massive insults against Allah and Muhammad and the Quran and so on. And guess what? It's a big part of why I am the way I am now was the way these guys acted over all these years. I have to say, if the popular people in Islam were like Salman and Issa and people like that, I don't think you'd have anywhere near as much of these al-Zut jokes. But it is what it is. So the Zut jokes will continue, everyone.
Then people might feel sorry for her. So instead, mark her as an enemy of Islam. But Hashim, here's the problem. What if that woman is harmed now because you've called her an enemy? What you're potentially doing is putting her life in danger. What will you do if a man...
That's David talking. That's a really good point. It's you're calling her an ex-Muslim and an enemy of Islam. You are actually endangering this woman's life here. And you don't care. All to protect hijab from facing the consequences of his actions. And you're willing to, they didn't care if she was going to end her own life. They don't care if she gets killed as an apostate. They just don't care. They want to, that's a Muslim. That's how they treat her. Sick stuff.
A woman goes up to her because they know who she is and they harm her because of what you said, Hashim.
This is the moment where the mask is torn off. David calls it out directly. By branding a Muslim woman as an apostate, Hashim has endangered her life. We are no longer talking about petty insults or online drama. This is serious. This is the kind of rhetoric that leads to real-world violence. Just go look at the countless and vicious attacks against a sister as a result of how both Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah tried to portray her.
Yeah, she had to move.
As an enemy of Islam. And for what? To protect Muhammad Hijab from being exposed, from shielding the truth about his deception, his lies, and his engagement.
I have to say, these Dawah guys, based on their behavior, these are the biggest bunch of idolaters on the planet. I mean, they're complete, utter, total idolaters. They will violate like rules in Islam. They'll try to get a Muslim woman killed. They'll do all of that out of their blind worship of someone like Muhammad Hijab.
And blackmail, to silence a woman who dared to speak about abuse, about being tricked and deceived. This isn't just reckless, it is criminally irresponsible. And every second Hashim remains silent, it is a stain on his character and the Dawah he claims to uphold. It isn't just me, it isn't just Sister Aisha, it isn't anyone speaking up against corruption amongst our ranks that is harming the image of the Dawah. It is these class act clowns who cannot practice what they preach. All while there is a common question that is echoing in the minds of many Muslims and non-Muslims. Why do these so-called leaders, preachers, and imams remain silent despite the damning evidence? Let's just say, as you see many of them chasing fame and money, this has now become a rhetorical question.
You want to pause real quick?
Mm-hmm.
You actually made a comment, maybe you remember it, maybe you don't, David, years ago when Ali Dawah was much smaller. And you said the moment Ali Dawah hits 1 million subscribers will be the greatest day in the anti-Dawah scene, because these clowns, whether it's Ali Dawah or Muhammad Hijab or, the newer arrivals like Dean Responds, all they want to do is do this vile rhetoric, which definitely attracts some people, but it probably repulses a lot more people than it attracts. And they're the public face of Islam, right? Forget whether it bothers Muslims or not. They want to reach out to non-Muslims, right? And non-Muslims see this, and very few people are attracted to this, right? And what it does is creates this impression, right or wrong, and we don't need to debate which one it is, but it creates this impression, unquestionably, that Islam is this violent religion of be strong, men dominate women, we do whatever we want to women, and
we
that's
get them
what they're projecting.
We
right?
get them to communicate through a dry erase board. See how cool we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's their public image of Dawah. And I know that's not what they wanted 20 years ago, right? They tried very, very hard, the people with the money and the power, they tried very hard to hand select the nicest people they could be to do outreach and have this particular image in the public. Islam's the religion of peace. We're just so friendly with everyone. And then the internet or YouTube came along specifically, gave other people the opportunity to, go around the power structures. And lo and behold, those people became the most popular. And now they're the face of Islam. They are literally the face of Islam in the public's eye. If you ask someone in the UK, right, they might say that Muhammad hijab is the most important Muslim in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of this,
you got a shield.
They're gonna live with this image, right? This is the image that they have given them, the community.
Mm-hmm.
And Salman wants to fight against that.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why, right? Well, one, because he doesn't believe in it, but two, it's a terrible image.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad hijab is leading more people out of Islam than anyone else.
Yep.
Thaddeus, you bring up something really interesting that I think we need to consider. One thing that I hear a lot, like sometimes I stream in, like I'm really busy, but sometimes, if I'm traveling, I check in like some of these debates, and I've listened to some of these debate channels where Christians are debating Muslims, and then it's like a call-in show, and the Muslim will call in and will say, I'm not knowledgeable. And I'm like, then why are you coming on the show? Like, that sounds really unintelligent to begin with. I'm like, what is your purpose of coming here? Maybe you thought you were knowledgeable. And then they say, well, I'm not knowledgeable. I'm not a scholar, but then I'm going to tell you about Christianity. You're not a scholar,
Mm-hmm.
but you can talk about a religion that you really know nothing about. I'm like, okay, that's amazing. My mind's blown by this. But then the next thing is there's a kind of a retreat, and they say, well, why don't you debate Muhammad hijab? And I'm like, what credentials does Muhammad hijab? Does he have a PhD or something in comparative religion? Because that's what he needs. He doesn't need a degree in just Islamic studies. He would need to have a degree in comparative religion. So he would have to have. So I've taken graduate level classes studying Christianity. So I read, like Pilgrim's Progress, Interior Corridors, like by Saint Teresa of Avila. So I had to read these texts, right? I've read, when I took my undergrad class in Christianity, like I read what do they call it? The Dialogue of the Savior, like these non-canonical texts. So like I actually got a basis like from academic education to learn about this stuff, right? These people haven't studied any of this. They don't have any education in this stuff. So I'm like, how are you going to come in and say you're this great scholar and you haven't actually done the work? You don't know Christian literature. You don't know, the history of Christianity. All you know is like talking points.
It's called the Dawah script.
The thing is, there was this movie with Jesse Eisenberg, and it was a fascinating movie because his father's this professor, right? And he doesn't actually read any of the books, but he imitates what his father says, like at a dinner table, to impress this young lady, right? To get her to kind of go out with him. But the thing was, it's a complete fraud. He didn't actually read the book. So he doesn't actually know what the book said. He only knows like talking points that he heard his father speaking about the book. And that's kind of what I feel when I listen to these so-called da'is or dawagandists. I'm like, you don't actually know what the New Testament said. You've never probably read it. You know what I mean? You probably just read something on Google or ChatGPT, some AI, you don't actually know what these texts say, and you misrepresent the text. And it's really vile. It's a very vile thing. It's interesting. We did a review on Daniel Hakikachu's debate with it was a Hindu guy who I don't know if he was Advaita Vedanta, I forgot, but it was one of the debates. There's one called Heated Debates, and there was another one. But we reviewed all of his arguments that he did against Hinduism, and all of them were false. They were all misrepresented. He was like saying,
What? Daniel Hakikachu, the biggest liar ever? No.
But it was like we looked at every single thing, and we looked because when you're doing academics, you have to represent the scholar's argument. And what the scholar was saying, it was symbolic. It was not at all literal. And he tried to talk about, you know, the David Dasi, like the certain elements, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, and also you're not defending Islam, you're just attacking Hinduism, and you're misrepresenting Hinduism. And I think it's bad faith. When you're coming into a conversation, you have to give good faith to the argument you're looking at. You have to represent it in the best way you can. You can't like manipulate like stuff like, you know, it's like tabloid news. You remember those like magazines when you would go to the supermarket and it had a bunch of rubbish in it, and you're like, it tells you all of the salacious details of celebrities? That's what I feel about a lot of this stuff. Like they said, you know, Rebecca was 3 years old. And I'm like, that's bad for you, dude, because you believe in the Torah. You believe in the Hebrew stuff. So you're shooting yourself in the foot. So you're saying that this about yourself. So I'm like, doesn't even make any common sense what you're doing. Like I saw Daniel debate a Jewish person. I'm like, you're shooting yourself. You're not helping yourself because you have to believe it. You believe in the Hebrew prophets. That's a part of being a Muslim. You have to believe in those things. So I'm like, are you just going to make them like phantom prophets, peanut gallery prophets? What's your goal with them? Are they real prophets? Or are they phantom prophets or peanut gallery prophets? What do you want them to be? And I think that is, I don't know. It's preposterous, and it's ridiculous in my opinion.
We have so we've gone through Ali Dawah, not in the Zut sense, and we've gone through Hashim, not in the Zut sense again, and we've got one section left, I think, which is D's responds. I didn't know what his name was, but now I know. Take a couple super chats. You all, Issa, you Christian yet? I pray for you. Also, check out Miss Yanni's site. Basically, Christian friends made Messianic Islam. Have your own hadith and tafsir. D Wood, we can add you and AP. Shake your booty and your mama. I didn't understand all of that, but
yeah, I don't know.
Why doesn't he mubahala? He's obviously not afraid of God. Yeah, that is interesting, because if you look at his behavior, he's clearly is not really like scared of God. So why wouldn't you do the mubahala and just not believe that anything's going to happen to you?
Because I think the reason is that's lose-lose for him, right? So he could do the mubahala and tell the truth, which he doesn't want to do, right? He doesn't want to say the truth. Or he could do it and he could say lies. Now, I don't think he's scared of Allah, right? I don't think that he thinks that he'd get vengeance from Allah. But what it would potentially show the public is that he's not afraid of Allah, right? Because his lies are very obvious, hijab especially, right?
Oh,
his
yeah, you mean people who already know he's lying and then see him do that, they'll be like, oh, yeah, this guy's completely fake.
So then they'll say, oh, he doesn't actually believe in Allah. Right. As long as he's lying to, you know, us, to the public, whatever, they can justify it in their mind. But if he goes and like lies while taking Allah's curse, that can only mean one thing. And that's that he doesn't believe in Allah. And it's not that he does believe that Allah will punish him. In my opinion, it's that he understands that it will show the public that he doesn't believe in Allah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That would make sense. Let's see. Just wait until we begin hearing about it happening with little girls. Oh, wait, hang on. Yep. Naughty, David Wood. Oh, zoot. Thaddeus, any plans to add this Ali Dawah voice as chimp or something on your channel?
Yeah, I definitely will think about adding Ali Dawah. So right now we got Zakir Naik and we got Muhammad Hijab, the GOAT, and Ape Apologists. I don't know, maybe Dolphin for Ali Dawah because of the high-pitched voice.
That was perfect. Dolphin is perfect. Ali Dolphin. That's perfect, man. My ancestor was a crusader and was a crusader knight. Come on, you're making that up. My whole family have been enemies of Islam for 800 years, and we proud of that. Eat bacon every day. Keeps the demons away. We have Mosh Cohen, in the name of Al Zut. In the name of Al Zut, someone get him some grapes. By the way, David, you know until when AP is in the Holy Land? I think over another week or so. Muslims' favorite #1 dating app in 2025, Only Goats. It's very racist and Islamophobic. Channel Brooks Revert Muslim is wild. Revert Kardashian. Really? Like a real Kardashian or just like acts like them? My doubt Issa follows Christianified Islam. ISIS follows Islam. If criminal things are written in Quran and he doesn't follow that, so he's not a Muslim. Isn't Issa deceitful and showing a wrong Islam? Finally, someone calls out Issa. Finally, someone calls out and exposes Issa.
It's the wrong word, but it's interesting. It's funny. You had a poster named Mosh Cohen. My great grandmother's name was Cohen too, Fanny Cohen. So it's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone, Issa's half Jewish. So got lots of Cohens in his family. Probably some Goldbergs.
I got all of it. My second cousin, I did DNA test. My second cousin's Goldberg. So
nice.
Just real quickly to defend Issa, Islam is actually diverse, both temporarily and historically. We just get this impression that there's only one Islam. And I would agree that the Salafis have a good argument that they're following the original traditions. But we do get this idea that the only Islam is the Salafi Islam, because that's what all the Dawah guys represent. And that's just not true historically or globally right now. So in other words, not all Muslims are the same.
Yes, they're all exactly the same.
And Thaddeus, the problem is, you're right. But the issue is the Salafis do things that are very contradictory. Like, for example, they throw the Bible, the Torah, and the Zabur under the bus. They curse other people's gods. So they're actually not following this stuff. They don't follow the ancient classical tradition. And they're not even following Sunni tradition, because Sunni tradition has things like maslaha, or like it has these principles that exist. Which is very much in common with like rabbinic Judaism. There's a lot that's aligned. Like I have this manuscript, and it looks just like a page from the Talmud. It looks exactly like the Talmud, but just in Arabic. Where you have the Islamic scholars who go and they have their commentary that circles around the main text, and they're arguing about the jurisprudence. So they might not like Jewish people, but the position is it's like it follows that rabbinic Jewish kind of lineage. So I'm like, you can't really hate on that. But I think it's fair. I don't know. It's hard because we don't know what's true and what's not. I think each group in each space there's lacking elements. Each position is going to be imperfect. You're going to be doing something that may not follow the perfect classical tradition. So I agree with you. I think that's a fair position.
Classic your mama tactics. Your mama's fill in the blank. It's just so dumb and pathetic and childish. It's laughable. Yeah, that's Dawah. I see we have a new Mahdi follower. Beanie's rule. Are you following that Mahdi, man? Hey, that's true. Hey, yeah. You should expose him if he becomes popular again, like as people start talking about him again, and just show pictures of you wearing the beanie before him. And be like, yo, he's copying me, man. What's that make me? If this guy's all the things from all the religions and he copied me, what's that say about me?
You know what's weird about him he was exposing actually like kind of cults.
He went around studying cult tactics and recording stuff about cult tactics, and then becomes like puts it all together and becomes like the ultimate cult leader. I'm all the things of all the religions. You will obey me. Now give me your daughters.
And all the women belong to you. Like, I'm sorry. When a guy says all the women belong to me, you're like, okay, this is fraudulent. When a guy starts saying all the women in the world belong to me, like, David Koresh did that. Yeah. He's like,
of course, all the women of the world belong to me. I am all the things of all the religions.
It's so fraudulent. That there's a scam. It's a scam. Like Osho did. Remember Osho, the guru Osho?
He was
totally did that.
But the people are
what's MBS? I don't know what that is.
Is that Mohammed bin Salam from Saudi Arabia? The Crown Prince? Issa looks like,
Oh,
or
I'm
good stand for
Crown
something.
Prince.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Issa looks like the Crown Prince working at the call center. Unless it's a different MBS. And what happened to the medical doctor? Shalom from India. I mean, Zakir Naik? I don't know. Something happened to him?
I'm not sure if this is just a question about, why you never hear from him anymore. And that's just because he's like irrelevant.
He's been replaced by these Dawah guys.
Yeah. Partially because his social team is incompetent. They just repost the same videos all the time, and they've totally destroyed any viewership to where he gets like almost the same views as I get, which is like he has 3-4 million subscribers and I have 30,000. I mean, or it could actually be a question on his health because he was admitted to the hospital. Rumors were that it was AIDS related, but that was just a rumor. But he was definitely actually admitted to the hospital. So I haven't heard that he got out. He might still be in the hospital. He might actually be in poor health. I don't know.
Don't know.
Why do people like Dr. Zakir Naik? Like, I heard him say, Quran 4, verse 32, ish. And you're like listening and you're like, what the heck is this?
Verse number 32.
You're like, what the heck is this? Is this supposed to be impressive?
Oh, brother makes a good point. Brother makes a good point.
So that actually reminded me of what you said before we went through the super chats, Issa, where you said that, they don't really know anything about the Bible and whatnot. There's actually a video where Zakir Naik is like talking to Muslims and like trying to train them on how to do Dawah. And he says, people think I know like the whole Bible or something. I know like 50 verses or 100 verses of the Bible. That's all you need to know. It's like, just memorize these verses and use them against people. You don't need to understand the context. You don't need to know anything about the historical reality. And I mean, yes, his reputation is not what it once was, but Zakir Naik had this reputation of being like super knowledgeable about the Bible. And here's like training people, admitting he knows barely anything about it because, he could say a verse number really fast. They're very impressed. And it is all just about performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the reason why people call into the shows and they say, well, when they say they don't have any knowledge, that is a defense mechanism, right? So that is so that they can get out of any question they're asked.
Yeah, if you get cornered, hey, I don't know any better, so what are you going to...
But the reason they actually have the confidence to call in is because they actually think they do know something about Christianity. This is one of the things that was very surprising to me, coming from a normal Christian background. And I was interested in apologetics, but I didn't really know much about Islam. And so, like, I always thought all the arguments apologists would make were like Christianity is true because, and thus Muslims would make arguments, Islam is true because, and that's generally not the case. Most of the arguments are, are you a Christian? Well, Christian is false because, okay, well, even if you prove that, there's still like thousands of other religions. That doesn't make Islam true. And I'm sure in India, right, all their arguments are focused on Hinduism. Right? Here's why Hinduism's false. Here's why Hinduism's false. Okay, you haven't proven Islam. And that's why they think they have so much confidence, is because they actually learned some small number of facts about Christianity, or what they think are facts anyway. They're really distortions and lies generally, but they learn a small number of things and they think that they're very knowledgeable. They think they have this great argument against Christianity. And then you're like, bro, that's not what we believe at all. And then they just can't go anywhere because that was where their confidence was, right? And I think that for many Muslims, their primary reason to be Muslim is not like they have some specific reason to be a Muslim. It's that since birth, they've been taught that Muslims are superior to non-Muslims, and they have some trivial reasons to believe that Christians are stupid or whatever, cultural dependent on what other religion, but some other religion is stupid. You're a Muslim. You're the best people. Alhamdulillah. Why would you consider anything else? And that's what, in my experience, that's what most people's confidence is. It's not based on any argument at all. They might give a couple arguments, but it's not really where their confidence. Their confidence is really, I'm a very good person because I'm a Muslim, and you're a very bad person because you're not a Muslim.
So one thing I wanted to add to you, it's interesting for me. So I spent a lot of my life in academia. So going and learning.
Yeah,
and
you
studying.
keep reminding us of that.
Well, you're silly. The point of why I bring that up.
So hang on, I'm naughty, I'm silly, what I'm cute. I'm gonna do a video compilation of
everything I said.
Issa describing me.
The thing that I really I like the Christian apologists' arguments a lot more than I like what I hear from the Islamic apologists. I'm just being transparent because it appeals to me as an academic, where I'm like, you're talking about academic sources, you're trying to engage texts, you're engaging scholars, and you're not cherry picking the scholar to fit your agenda. Like, you're actually trying to accurately represent the scholar. That's what I've seen so far. And what I've seen is, like, yes, attacking Christianity where you don't actually know what Christianity is. You're not really familiar with the text. And there's just one thing that doesn't work well for me is arrogance and hubris. So if you come in and you're loud, rude, and obnoxious, you're going to lose me very quickly. And I've seen this, like, you had a conversation with a person who called himself Muslim Apex or something, and he was just very loud, rude, and obnoxious. And I'm like,
Shocker.
That's the trinity of unappealing to me. When I see someone coming and saying, "Yeah, I've cooked you. I'm so smart. What does the Bible say?" I'm like, do you think you're an intellectual? This is it's fraudulent. You know what I mean? Like, those people who are like academics with their tweed jackets and their pipes, and they're like, really, really smart. And then you have this person who like fakes to be an academic. They're a fake academic, and they come in. That's what I feel like. There's like these fake academics trying to pretend to be real academics, and they're not, and they just don't know this stuff at all. And like, I respect someone more like Dr. Shabir Ali. Like, you can tell that this is a person who has studied. I'm not saying he's perfect, but like, you can tell that this is a person that would be adequate for doing this type of space. But like someone like Muhammad Hijab, I'm like, being loud, rude, and condescending. I don't know if you're like a normal human being, and I don't know what normal is anymore, but I guess like what I hope a normal human being is, you would be like, this is appalling. He's acting like a beast. This is bestial. This is not human. This is what a beast does.
This is bestiality.
So I'm just like, it's obnoxious, it's loud, it's rude, and it's hard. Like, every time I'm trying to hear the Muslim debater, I'm like, are they going to come in a good way? And then I listen, and I'm like, okay, let's see. I'm going to brace myself and hope that it's going to be an interesting conversation, and they're going to have humility, they're going to have integrity, they're going to have honor, and they're just going to come to the conversation well. Every single time I'm disappointed. I come in and I'm like, this is disappointing. This is disappointing. This is disappointing. It's like a litany of disappointment. And I don't know what to say about that,
Jack Ray says, Issa Qui-Gon Beanie opposes Darth Beanie, waiting for a David Wood correction for mismatching Star Wars lore. How would that be mismatching? Because you got... So the joke there is that's Issa versus that weird fake Mahdi guy, and they both have beanies. That's the Star Wars lore's perfect there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw I was never really into Star Wars, but I'd watch them if someone was like, hey, let's go watch the Star Wars movie. But I watched that second one, Attack of the Clones with Nabeel. And he was nerd enough to stand up applauding when Yoda started fighting with the lightsaber, and he jumps up in the theater and starts clapping over his head. I'm like, dude, come on, you look like an idiot. Anyway.
I saw that in the theater too, actually. I saw Attack of the Clones also. I remember the part where he's like, it's sand. You're like sand. And I was like, this is embarrassing. That's what I felt when he was doing there's a romantic scene between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, and and he's trying to like woo her, and then he's
I don't even remember it. I'm glad I forgot, and now you're trying to bring back.
It was so bad. It was
movie
so
trauma.
bad. And I'm like,
all I remember is like the terrible dialogue. I don't know which one it was from, but I love you. I love you more, only because you're beautiful. Only because, and I was like, it sounds like a 7-year-old wrote the dialogue.
Exactly. It's terrible dialogue. The prequels have some terrible dialogue. My favorite thing from all the prequels was the fight scene of the end of Phantom Menace, because the guy was a real martial artist, and they did really good choreography. Like the fight between I think it's Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. That was really epic, but most of it was like really not good. Just being honest.
My ancestor was first Earl of Balcarres, a famous crusader. He was given a title and estate by King Richard Lionheart. Good folks. I meant adding your and AP's characters to the Misyani site like to our Hadith and Tafsir, basically original Quran only Christians. Man, yeah, but I don't know what you're even talking about with Misyani site. I don't know what that is. AP wears beanies now. Based. The beanie AP. All right, guys, let's... You know what? We should probably go ahead and... What do you guys want to do? You want to finish this or wrap it up?
It's entirely up to you. I could definitely come back another day. The last section you definitely want to cover at some point.
We do. Then we're gonna watch it. Then we're gonna watch it because I kind of like. I mean, because I was kind of like, well, if we close out, then we can say, oh, to finish it, then you need to go over to Salman's site. So I thought that was cool. But if you're saying we need to watch it, then we will watch it right now.
Yeah, I think Dean probably takes it the worst of the three of them. So.
Oh, he doesn't take it the best, like the revert girls?
Like the Alzoot.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here we go. Dean responds, everyone. Dean responds. In response to a flood of backlash and criticism by viewers, Muhammad Murad, that's Dean Responds, has hidden the video attacking Salman. It is no longer published on his YouTube channel. Dean Responds. Wow, took it down. Naughty, naughty.
Yeah, I mean, none of the other guys took it. Like Ali Dawah, especially his one attacking Salman, it was like almost universally negative, and he left it up. Dean took it down, though, which is very interesting because Dean also made a public post. I don't know. I didn't check whether he took that down as well, but I suspect he didn't, attacking me personally. And it was related to his little response video there because I reacted to his response video. So very interesting that he's now embarrassed by the stuff that he previously attacked me for saying he was stupid on. Just saying.
Hey, Dee's Response. You're doing a bang-up job, man. You're going to have a long, long, long career in Dawah, buddy. Just like his deceptive Dawah buddies, Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah, who were both caught lying, Murad has sought retreat and receded into the shadows after exposing and making a fool of himself. That's what you
by
get.
the way, I will say that he had to do that video twice, so he did it as a live stream, and he accidentally. So his genius plan was to go into the group chat and show his own messages, and as a result, he doxed everyone who was in the group chat.
Thank you. Dee's Response.
He did as a live stream. He realized it immediately. He took it down. As far as I know, that no one got a copy of it, but then he had to redo the whole thing. So what he had public was actually his second attempt to explain his argument. And it was still horribly stupid. He would, just in terms of quality, like at times he'd be completely silent for a minute or 2 minutes because he's like, oh crap, I forgot to edit out someone's phone number. Hold on, everyone. Well, I go edit that out.
These guys are all tactical geniuses, man. Tactical geniuses, every last one of them.
Let's talk about Muhammad Murad from Dean Responds, the self-declared unbiased referee who just entered the ring swinging wildly, trying to protect his Dawah bros, all while pretending he's not even in the fight. But Murad, you made a whole video about me. You brought my name into this, so now you've got my attention. And now we'll see if you end up running away and going into hiding like your HP Dawah buddies, Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawah, and even Hashim.
Guys, I'm not looking to defend Brother Muhammad Hijab. I condemn anything haram that occurred on either side. So whether it be Muhammad Hijab, whether it be this individual, whether it be the person that claims to be Muslim.
This is the oldest trick in the Dawah Bros playbook. Act neutral, say, I condemn both sides, then spend the entire video attacking the victim and defending your friend. You just said you're not here to defend hijab, but then you literally say,
what I'm saying is someone that is mentally ill, if not an enemy of Islam. And in both cases, I will support Muhammad Hijab against this person.
So let's get this straight. You support him no matter what because she might be sick or she might be a disbeliever based on your own wild and baseless assessment? That's not neutrality. That's blind loyalty. And your own audience saw right through it.
You are coping hard. Attacking Salman, now deflecting from all the dirt on Hijab and Ali.
Nice. What I'm hearing here is blatant favoritism. How disgraceful that you and your group would stand by someone solely because you know him. Our faith does not condone such behavior. It demands equality and justice. Allah will hold you accountable for every action you've taken against others.
Oh, dang. These are Muslims calling him out.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Deez Responds.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, beware of suspicion, for suspicion is the worst of false tales. Do not spy, do not envy one another, do not harbor hatred, and do not sever ties. Yet you publicly accused her of mental illness and fed him information, while she came purely to seek knowledge for her doubts. By Allah, you are the ones at loss here. This was never your case, nor was anyone attacking you, but you fabricated a narrative to support Muhammad Hijab's case and weaken your sister in Islam. On the day of judgment, you will answer for these actions. Seek forgiveness from her immediately, and just as you publicly shamed her, you must publicly renounce your past mistakes and make amends.
Actually, it does matter.
Pause it for a second.
Yeah, actually, I mean, notice a difference. Like, you got the Dawah guys. I mean, we'll just rally around Muhammad Hijab because we're part of this group, and we all have to. Us Dawah bros have to stick together through everything, no matter how horribly we're treating everyone around us. And if we have to lie and cheat and make up things and so on, we'll do all of that. And then you have people who actually seem to understand that according to your religion, you're all going to be standing before Allah one day. And you have to, what did you do? Oh, I turned everyone into no one banged as many revert girls as me. Great job, buddy.
And I think it would be good to say the context of what Dean's little video was. So he released this like within a day or two of Salman posting the video, saying that there's this group chat that all these guys are participating in. And Dean was named as one of the people in that video. But he was the first to like say anything about it. And what does he do? He goes and he like reveals it live, right? Scrolling through it live. So we know it's legitimate. Their best strategy would either be to ignore it or pretend it didn't exist, that Salman made this up. So he goes and he says, yeah, all this is real. Everything that he said in that video is exactly what we said, but he's a liar because he didn't give my brilliant argument that Aisha is mentally ill. So that whole video was basically him complaining that the group went and said, no, let's not go with the mentally ill argument. Let's suggest that she was doubting Islam and maybe she was already apostate or whatever. They decided to go with that strategy. He's like, they should have listened to me. They should have said she was mentally ill. And that was his whole argument. And then so many Muslims came to the chats and they're like, this is disgusting. What the hell is wrong with you? You're saying that she was mentally ill. How does that justify what Muhammad Hijab did? Why are you not calling out Muhammad Hijab? Who cares if she's mentally ill or not? Did he do the things that he was accused of? Yes or no? And he's like, oh, I'm just neutral here. Salman's a liar. Like that was literally the title of the video. It was like, Salman is a liar because, and then the reason he's a liar is because he showed the chat without going through Dean's argument that she's mentally ill.
I actually have a question to that, Thaddeus. What gives the and I hate to go to credentials and qualification, but I think it's an important thing here. What gives the right of Dean to say that this person is mentally ill? Is he a therapist?
Are you questioning world champion psychologist D's response?
I think I am. I'm actually questioning a lot more than that. I'm questioning his background in philosophy. I'm questioning his background in, comparative religion. I'm questioning all these people. They don't have any credentials to talk about any of this stuff. And you're like, you're not, if you're a scholar of religion, you're not a scholar of Islam, you're not going to know about mental illness stuff. You're not going to learn about the DSM-5. You're not going to know about the mental illness structures. You're not going to know about any of that stuff. So I'm like, claiming someone's mentally ill, what is your qualification to making that diagnosis?
Would you like to know his brilliant argument? His brilliant argument is she must be mentally ill because she tweeted at David and she made a public post about Gaza, which they distorted what the post was about. She basically said that the Israelis are mentally ill because they're treating the Gazans like animals. And they said, no, she's saying that she's calling the Gazans animals. And then one more was, how people like just put out a open question, right? So someone put out a question like, what is one thing that if it was eliminated from the world would make the world a better place? And she gave a response of the Y chromosome.
Funny.
So they're like, she wants all men dead. She's mentally ill.
Do you know, Eunice said something interesting. There seems to be this religion of Israel and Palestine. Like, why is this political issue such an important thing? I'm like, first of all, these people don't know anything about global politics either. They have no idea what's going on in Sudan. They have no idea what's going on in Somalia, Syria, Congo. None of these situations, they don't know anything about this, but then they think that they're experts on what's happening with Israel and Palestine. Insane.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I'm going to tell you about what's going on. They never even met an Israeli. They've never met Jews. They've never met an Israeli. They have no idea what they're talking about. And then they probably don't even know Palestinians either. So I'm like, you're talking about a conflict and a situation that's very complex that they know nothing about. And somehow now it's a religious injunction. Ridiculous. Preposterous.
Issa,
I should actually
Issa,
explain what the tweet was.
Oh, hang on. I just want to point out, Issa, you're the Jewish Muslim. You are literally the bridge. You should be the one solving all the problems over there. All right. What are you saying?
Yeah, I should probably actually explain the tweet. I didn't adequately describe the tweet. So some random person tweeted out a video, and they claimed it was a video of an Israeli helicopter shooting at people on the Gaza Strip. It wasn't. There was no one running. It clearly wasn't that. And she replied basically saying, what is wrong with these people? They have sick minds or something like that. And she's like, how could they say the Gazans have sick minds when they're the victims of Israel? When obviously she was believing the propaganda tweet and thinking that the helicopter pilot was shooting at people. And she was saying the helicopter pilot has a sick mind.
And it's hard because a lot of these people are within their own culture and they don't know. Like, it's weird. Like for example, I hear people complaining about European supremacy and saying, look at white supremacy. All these evil white people went and took over the world. You can say, yes, people of European ancestry did something. Are you going to talk about Arab supremacy too? Like, I'm very much team accountable. If you're going to talk about transatlantic slave trade, then you have to talk about the East African slave trade. You've got to be equal. You've got to be fair. And the thing is, you could just say people are bad. Why are you targeting their race? Why are you targeting their culture? Why don't you say people are bad? But you're saying, well, because they're of European ancestry, that makes them evil. That makes them bad. And I'm like, so if people are of Arab ancestry, that makes them evil and bad? It's like there's no consistency. And to someone like me, that's like a pet peeve. That does not work well. It does not compute. I'm like, you're like, I'm going to say this thing and it's completely illogical to where I'm standing. I'm like, I don't know where you're at, boss. I don't know what you're talking about, my man.
Yeah, Issa, but that's why you are not welcome in the Dawah community.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be. I'm not interested in harems of women and exploiting women and
because you're weak. Because you're weak. You're a weakling. You're not fit for Dawah.
Not going to school, not condemning other people's religions. Yeah, I don't think I would fit very well in that place. I'm like, they're going to lecture me. Like, I've had conversations about interfaith, particularly about Christianity, and people try to lecture me about it, and I'm like, yeah, you're not right. This is my big problem. You're like, I'm going to use Western scholarship or modern scholarship. I don't really like the word West, but we can use it for this context. But modern scholarship, academic scholarship, and I'm going to critique Christianity. I'm going to critique Judaism. And I said, what about? Are you willing to use modern academic scholarship against Islam? Are you going to be consistent? No, because there are scholars. There's plenty of scholars who critique the linguistic inerrancy of Arabic. There's scholars who critique the Hadith collections. There's scholars who critique all of this stuff. And anybody who's an academic worth their salt is going to be like, yeah, there's vulnerability. But then you're like, no, I'm going to repeat all my Islamic sciences, but I'm going to use modern scholarship to attack your religion. I'm like, you're such a fraud. You're disingenuous and you're a fraud. I don't want to hear what you
All I'm hearing with everything you say is this is why I'm not fit for Dawah. That's what I'm hearing every single step of the way. That's why you're not welcome. You're not welcome in the Dawah community. All right, let's check out these comments here about.
They're not responding because they got caught with their pants down. They
not in a zoot sense.
Know very well they can't find ways around the clear-cut evidences presented against them. All those defensive statements made by the other Dawah bros in favor of Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah are emotional, not factual.
Dean responds, how much did Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah pay you to defend the wrong? May Allah curse you. You're pathetic.
That's the thing. You don't have to pay him to do that. If he's part of the group, he will want to demonstrate his worth to the group by the bigger defender of Muhammad hijab you are, the more valuable you're going to be to the group, and the more these guys will have your back and promote you. So it's just, I mean, he's new compared to a lot of the guys, and so he's jumping in there. Hey guys, I'll defend Muhammad hijab. I'll be the best defender of Muhammad hijab ever, the best one in the whole world. Now support my channel. Tell everyone to subscribe to me.
He doesn't come near any important points about how Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah continuously lied. Even when he knew all along they were being deceitful.
Good
He
point.
just scoured the internet for a big nothing burger to defend that wolf in sheep's clothing. They're all a joke. Guys, please, don't follow these fools. Connect with Allah directly and ask Him alone to guide you.
When you say you condemn anything haram on either side, it would be nice if you elaborated rather than try and be crafty. Both Ali Dawah and Muhammad Hijab have done so much haram in all of this.
That's true.
And all Salman has done is expose this and their hypocrisy.
True.
You are trying to cleverly keep yourself clear while not falling out with your masters. Let's be frank.
Yeah, think about that right there. So Ali Dawah and Muhammad Hijab did all sorts of screwed up, messed up things. And who are the enemies? Aisha, for trying to put an end to what they're doing to Muslim women, and Salman for helping Aisha to expose this stuff. So, I mean, and Asdi's responds, hey, who are the bad guys here? Oh, the ones who are trying to expose all this evil. They're the bad people. The bad people are the ones who expose all the evil. The good people are the ones who do all the evil, and the bad people are the ones who expose all the evil. This is dysfunctional, man.
Next, let's take a look at Murad's assessment and supposedly definitive assertion regarding the sister.
I sufficiently proved that she is mentally ill. And this is the case that I was making, that she's mentally ill. And this was what I was saying in the WhatsApp group. And if anyone says she's not mentally ill after seeing what I presented on the WhatsApp group, then you got to be mentally ill yourself. Like, seriously.
You're not a doctor. You're not a licensed psychologist. But you're casually declaring someone mentally unfit because she reached out for help, not because of a diagnosis, not from a medical record, but because she questioned the Quran in a moment of crisis, especially as she witnessed the hypocrisy and the cover-ups by the same scholars that preach from the minbar about justice. Murad, mental illness in Islam is not a slur, but you weaponized it.
There's a clear bias in the way this...
I mean, it is crazy. It's like, okay, if she's mentally ill, you guys are all attacking and trying to destroy a mentally ill person. What's that make you? It makes you even more evil than we already think you are. Great job, guys. Boy, you're doing it. Tactical geniuses. I said it 1,000 times. Let's
what Salman's not very explicit, but Dean's primary argument, and I just said all of his arguments, but his primary argument is actually that she tried to contact you and Abdullah Samir.
Yeah,
that's his primary
give her a
argument.
medal
she
for
must
that.
be mentally ill if she tried to contact David.
That doesn't make her mentally ill. That makes her really, really, really smart.
I know, but that's his primary evidence that after
she's
more than a year of trying to get
mentally, she's obviously mentally ill because she's so smart.
After more than a year of trying to get help in our own community, and after Ali Dawah spiked the interview after the fact and refused to talk to her, by the way, he made one of his goons talk to her. He refused to talk to her directly. After all that, then in desperation, she reached out to you with a public tweet, and that proves she's mentally ill.
Yeah.
Because after a year of being ignored by everyone in the Dawah community, she reached out to someone else for help.
Yeah, and everyone think about what there's a reason there. There's a reason. It's she tries getting Muslims to help her. She tried getting various sheikhs. She goes around to various sheikhs. Everyone is terrified of Muhammad Hijab. Why? Because if you cross him, and he's gonna destroy your entire career, and he has a way bigger following than you. So everyone just says, no, we can't help. Sorry, even if they know she's right, we can't help you. What are you supposed to do at that point? You find some people who aren't scared of hijab in these guys. Well, guess what? That's us, right? So, and she eventually finds Salman, who's not scared of him either. But I mean, she went around to a bunch of people. I can't find anyone who's not scared of Muhammad Hijab. Let me go to some of the guys who definitely aren't scared of Muhammad Hijab. And so that means she's mentally ill. Interesting. All right, let's read this big comment here.
Situation is being handled. The woman is being dismissed and labeled mentally ill simply because she has ADHD, which doesn't impair her ability to think clearly or speak truthfully. That's both reckless and unfair. Meanwhile, Muhammad Hijab is being indirectly defended, even after publicly denying a marriage that, by multiple accounts including hers, did take place. When she went to Sheikh Tarana, a respected Muslim, he confirmed the marriage. In response, Hijab allegedly threatened and attempted to blackmail him. When prominent figures are protected at the expense of vulnerable individuals, especially women, it sends a dangerous message. This woman was pushed to question the conduct of Muslims due to how she was treated, dismissed, gaslit, and betrayed by the very people she turned to for help. This is exactly why you don't dismiss someone's claims or attack their character just because you're friends with the accused. That kind of response is unacceptable. We should be more outraged by the abuse and the cover-up than by the fact that someone, in this case Salman, chose to speak out.
And if anyone says she's not mentally ill after saying what I presented on the WhatsApp group, then you gotta be mentally ill yourself.
Don't insult your listeners with such rubbish. Even if we accept the premise that she is mentally ill, it makes what happened to her even worse, because she was taken advantage of knowing her vulnerability. You defending Muhammad Hijab and trying to smear her is completely messed up. Repent to Allah.
Can I say I am a medical doctor? I am qualified to judge mental
Soccer
illness.
night.
You are not. The way you are attacking the sister is sick. If it was your own sister or daughter, you would not be speaking this way. She was pushed to the verge of apostasy and had severe doubts when your friend religiously manipulated her for sex. Do you not see how traumatizing that might be for someone? Especially if you looked up to someone and saw them as a righteous believer. Then they lie, use and abuse you. Thank Allah she did not leave the religion. She is only human. You are trying to defend the indefensible. Rather than side with a Muslim sister who has been wronged, you attack her. Wallahi, this is sick.
It's pretty sick, all right.
I want to circle back to what you just mentioned, Murad.
I sufficiently prove that she is mentally ill.
I sufficiently proved that she is mentally ill because I said she went to David Wood, that mentally ill.
Now, I want to remind you with how you responded to Hashim, all while you were trying to make a case that she's mentally ill.
Make a second video on new channel with more evidence that we have given and make a case she's mentally ill.
Mental illness will work in her favor as it'll show Muhammad Hijab took advantage of her vulnerability.
That's what all of us are thinking every time you say she's mentally ill, she's mentally ill, she's mentally ill. And who's that on the bottom? Is that Hashim, Thaddeus?
Yeah, that's Hashim. And he ultimately won out. They did focus on her supposed apostasy as opposed to her supposed mental illness. But Dean was upset. He's like, I had the better plan, guys.
Yep. So Dean, I'm more of a tactical genius than all of you other tactical geniuses, so I will show that she's mentally ill, and you all see that I had the best approach, which is why I had to take it down, because I'm an idiot.
Hijab isn't a doctor to do a diagnosis.
Hijab isn't a doctor to do a diagnosis.
Hijab isn't a doctor to do a diagnosis.
But somehow you magically are. Not a doctor, but a boy riddled with hypocrisy.
All I can do is show the deception on this person's side, misusing Islamic sources.
The irony is astonishing. You accuse me of deception by omission, and then spend your entire video cherry-picking messages, mocking her, calling her insane, while completely ignoring the proof of blackmail, AI-generated fake audios, and the WhatsApp admissions that you were a part of. You conveniently ignore hijab deliberately misleading and lying to the public, Sheikh Tarana's testimony of a nikah and a divorce taking place, Hashim's affirmation that it was a misyar marriage, hijab using deepfake AI manipulation to forge a false confession by the sister, Ali Dawah presenting a fabricated and photoshopped screenshot meant to wrongly frame her, the crime of blackmail, hijab threatening Sheikh Tarana with a deadline to retract the truth. So Murad, I ask you, who's the one being deceptive? Who's the one consciously trying to mislead the public? Who's the one trying to cover up for the crimes of their buddy? If you haven't already realized from all the comments in your own video of people criticizing and attacking you, well, allow me to tell you bluntly, the people watching and witnessing everything unfold, they're not stupid.
Elon Musk is setting me up.
Ha 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 ha. The group chat was real. The AI channel was set up by Hijab. Ali knew about it all, proving Hijab and Ali are both liars. Instead of the massive cover-up, wouldn't it have just been easier to apologize and ask for forgiveness if there was any wrongdoing and repent to Allah? Why did they take it so far to these levels? Is Hijab that scared of his first wife finding out?
Whether the accusations are true or false is not the biggest issue. The big issue is the deliberate lies and deception used to cover up the scandal. Just one example is that clearly Muhammad Hijab has lied about the video he created being nothing to do with him.
Did your WhatsApp group help you make this video?
Shame on you. Command the good and forbid the evil, not attacking the truth tellers. Ignorance of Islamic sciences. We are none of us ignorant of Islamic morality, truth, and basic decency. Stop trying to escape into loopholes and technicalities.
And then
I have to say, it is good that Muslims are calling him out, and not just us. That is good. Hey, who are you talking to, Issa? You talking to someone else? Or were you talking to us?
I actually wanted to bring up something that I think is important. I was interesting because I've seen Mohammed Hijab on Piers Morgan, and he was debating Alan Dershowitz.
Very powerful Dawah.
I was shocked because I'm not saying what I know about Alan, Mr. Alan Dershowitz's life. Like, I can't speak on that. I saw him debate Mayor Kahana like back in the 80s. I saw a video of that, but in that conversation, Alan Dershowitz was very nice, very kind, and Mohammed Hijab was very rude. And I'm like, you're not supposed to talk to your elders like that. That in the culture, you're not supposed to do that. Whatever if your elder is Jewish or not, you're not supposed to behave that way. According to his own Middle Eastern culture, he's not supposed to do that. But it was so bizarre because I remember him, like Alan Dershowitz was talking about, we want Palestinians and Israelis to live in peace. That's what he was saying. And he was kind of, promoting the two-state solution in that conversation. But Mohammed Hijab was like very angry, very aggressive, very nasty, very mean. And I'm like, do you think you're going to like, and it's weird when people like bring up Palestinians. I'm like, do you think you're going to do anything for these people? Are you going to help these people by being mean and nasty and rude? Do you think that that's going to help Palestinian people? It's not. If you want Palestinians to have a country, you better do better than this, because this isn't going to help you at all. You're not going to get anything like that if that's really what your end goal is. If it's not, then, if it's just really cynical, then it's something else,
Yeah, I have to say, I do not think one Palestinian was helped by Mohammed Hijab's debate performance ever.
Came the takfir tactic.
Whether any allegations happen or didn't happen, this is what I'm saying on the Dawah. What I'm saying is someone that is mentally ill, if not an enemy of Islam. And in both cases, I will support Mohammed Hijab against this person.
You don't know her. You've never spoken to her, but you claim she's either mentally insane or a disbeliever. That's takfir and ableism in one breath. And you admit to aiding hijab because of that, not based on facts, but because you deemed her unworthy of your loyalty. No court, no testimony, no mercy. And your own followers called it out.
Mohammed Hijab played all you boys like fiddle.
You're darn right he did.
Religiously belittled her, kicked her out of faith, then turned being enemy of Mohammed Hijab is enemy of Islam. Sick and pathetic.
You think this is over? No, Murad.
Yeah, I mean, here, Mohammed Hijab treated you like a prostitute. If you call him out, you're an enemy of Islam and an apostate. Awesome, guys.
And notice that his friends took all the fall for him, right? Hijab hasn't, he technically released a response, but it wasn't in his own name. But he had his friends respond in their own name, and they took a ton of heat. And maybe they don't care. I have no idea. But Murad, Dean Responds, took a ton of heat, and he had to take the video down, right? Because he doesn't have a very big audience. So for him to get all those negative comments was probably quite overwhelming to him. Ali Dawah took a ton of heat. Hashim is taking heat at Speaker's Corner. Where's Hijab? Where's the heat he's taking? All his friends are dying on their swords for him, and Hijab's just sitting there laughing. Ha ha ha! You guys are taking the fall, and I'm getting away with it.
And that's what he expects of them, right? It's
yeah.
I mean, so look at how many of these dudes. Again, I mean, guys at Speaker's Corner are never going to live this down. They're never just going to be able to normally give dawah again, because people are going to constantly be calling them out. You got the YouTubers, people are calling them out, all because of hijab. And I mean, do you think he's like going around, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I screwed everything up for you. Just for myself. I'm sorry. No, doesn't care. That's your job. The universe revolves around him. He's a narcissist.
The next domino. You stepped into this fire trying to play loyalist to a Dawah cartel of deceit. And now you're going to be held accountable for your part in mocking a victim, undermining the truth, and trying to spin the narrative to protect your clique. You had no problem aiding hijab in tarnishing this sister's character, even if it drove her to the brink. As one person said,
embarrassing and Ebe. May Allah hold you all accountable for what you did to this woman and mother. I don't blame her for seeking help from outside the community. May Allah aid her and protect her.
You see how the community
Sulman's giving the lot of you a right old spanking, isn't he? What's the punishment in Islam for someone who says wallahi before lying through their teeth? And is there a punishment for those who back them up in their blasphemous lie? Looks like there are at the very least 70+ alleged Muslims who fear hijab more than their God.
Dang.
What an absolutely pathetic attempt
They fear hijab more than their God.
at damage control. May Allah hold you all accountable. All 75 of you fools. I'm a qualified psychologist with a master's in psychology and in applied Islamic psych. ADHD is not mental illness. This woman is not mentally ill. Your friend Muhammad Hijab behaves in more neurotic and strange ways that can be seen as actual mental disturbance.
That's true. Like if hijab were to sit down with a psychologist, I guarantee he would be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, which is a serious problem. Why? We're going to want the entire world revolving around you, and you are going to do massive damage all for yourself, which is exactly what he's doing. And they're pointing, oh, but she's got ADHD and will need to take Adderall or something. Bunch of idiots, man.
The manner in which he plotted.
What's that?
The weird thing is, even if it's true, so what? It's like what Thaddeus said before. Like, if you attack Christianity in a debate, that doesn't prove Islam is true. So let's say she does have mental health issues. Why does anything she saying false? Like, these people don't know that there's different kinds of mental health issues.
Yeah.
They're
assuming.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like ADHD. Okay, so you're hyper and things like that. You can have problems concentrating on certain things. It doesn't mean you're a liar. Doesn't mean you can't be trusted. Doesn't mean you can't remember information accurately and report the facts accurately. Right? There are disorders like that. Like if you're a psychopath, then don't trust that guy. Narcissist, don't trust that guy. There are all kinds of people you wouldn't want to trust because of their mental illness. If someone's like schizophrenic, you might think, okay, well, I need to make sure that this person is in touch with reality and what they're saying or something like that. ADHD, and then it's, oh, she's got a mental illness, so you can't trust her. What does having ADHD have to do with not being trustworthy? These guys are bad, man. This is bad stuff.
The way he gaslit the sister and got her to believe him points to his cunning sociopathy. Give it a rest.
Hey,
why are you?
He's not a he's not a sociopath or psychopath. Don't be giving us a bad name. He's a narcissist. Narcissist.
You defending against accusations that were never made against you. Soman did not say that you dishonestly claimed that she was ill. He said, and we heard, you conspired to smear her using her mental health issue. Funny thing is that you are playing a game straight out of the Ali drama playbook.
Wallahi, I didn't blackmail Sheikh Tarone.
Of all the people you decided to cozy up to and become a minion for, you chose the worst option. The liars and fabricators are who you went to bat for, whether for clout or channel growth or what.
You're clearly deleting comments. This is haram and Ebe. Muhammad Hijab had embarrassed us in the face of the world.
Darn right.
He did such a heinous thing. Now, more and more people are slandering our prophet and deen.
That's true.
I have never been so frustrated. This is a true testimony that most Dawah men are just Epstein's folks.
Wow.
May Allah hold you all accountable.
Wow. Comparing it to like Epstein with all the girls and running this big ring and so on. They're saying that's like Dawah. That's what Dawah is. Wow.
So Murad, if you're done slandering with no qualifications, declaring takfir without due process, and diagnosing mental health from behind a screen while having no credentials to do so, I suggest you take some time off. Go read the highly critical comments on your own video, calling you out, and come to the realization that your blind loyalty to hijab, when the world has witnessed his deceit and crimes, will always be a dark stain on your name, and will be something that you will be held to account when you meet your Lord.
Based, what's up?
One thing I wanted to bring up is, so they're bringing up this concept that I learned about recently because I never grew up learning about it. It's this thing called al-wala wal-bara, which is loyalty and disavowal. And it's like a very Salafi principle. It's like this very Wahhabi Salafi principle where it's like, I can tell people, I can say who's a good Muslim and who's not. But the problem with that position is it's extremely susceptible. If you can do loyalty and disavowal, then you can be disavowed yourself. Like it's not a very smart position. These kind of very like intense, rigid positions end up, backfiring because the people can be rigid to you and just say, well, you're not really this, you're not really this. And I'm like, how do you, like, these people, how do they know that they're the real Muslim? They just believe it. Like they just attest to it. They just claim it. And anybody who's their enemy, they say they're not. I'm like, most of these people, they're just, it's a tribalistic inheritance. Let's be honest. That's what it is. These people didn't really go and figure it out and engage and try to say, well, what does this thing mean? It's mostly just tribalistic inheritance. And it's like, well, what religion means to me is it's my tribe and my tribe is good. So anything that's related to my tribe makes me good. So if anything that attacks my tribe, it makes it bad. It's not really about a deep dive of spiritual transformation and, trying to have your soul or your deeper self washed again. Like there's no interest in that. It's just, a continuance of a tribalistic narrative. That's what I'm hearing personally.
All right, we're at the final 50-some seconds, the final message.
To all the du'at, especially those hiding behind silence, the time for neutrality has passed. We are at a point in time where there is nothing but humiliation.
Darn right.
Where we've witnessed many of them running for cover.
The cowards.
And don't think the shame is just upon those that have been caught in such egregious behavior and crimes. It extends to each and every one of you that remains silent. Silence isn't just cowardice, it is complicity. Everyone is witnessing how you all lack a backbone and how words are
Yeah, you guys have a bunch of marshmallows where your vertebrae should be.
Cheap. Because the real test is not by words, but rather by action. And everyone is taking notice of your silence. You were meant to be men of Dawah. Instead, you became men of deceit. And now you've been unmasked. One by one, your names will soon be known.
Wow.
Allahumma musta'an.
Can't say he doesn't give them fair warning over and over and over again, and 100% of the time he ends up doing exactly what he tells you he's going to do. And then you're all, oh, we thought he was bluffing. We thought he just wasn't going to do it. You guys mess with the wrong one, man. You mess with the wrong one. Oh, wow. Did I read this before? AP wears beanies now? Based. AP beanie. My ancestors were whales. Oops, sorry, from Wales. That's good. And last one. Europeans saved India from becoming Islam country. Well, Europeans did do some messed up stuff down there, but it is good to look at the bright side of any positive outcomes that happen. All right, guys, we've gone through that entire video, seen some powerful stuff. Final thoughts on all this? I keep thinking it's done. I keep thinking it's done, but nope, there is more to come out. So, guys, if you didn't understand that, like what else is he talking about? There were 75 of these Dawah guys. He's only mentioned a few of them. He's only exposed a few of the guys. And he warned them a couple months ago, guys, if you contact me and you condemn what happened and stuff like that, I'm not going to expose you. If you don't, I'm going to expose you. So he's been giving them time to come forward and do something to demonstrate their repentance, and then he won't expose them. But looks like more to come, guys. Looks like more to come. All right. Thaddeus, final thoughts on any of this?
Yeah. Well, first on that, I mean, very generous offer. I would, in his position, I might have
Jump
given
at
that offer, but I would have said, they got to at least say something public, right? They can't just do it privately. But all he asked is that they privately come to him and say, you know, yes, I was in the group, but I wasn't paying attention. I condemn it, whatever, right? Now, I mean, if they had actually participated in the chat, they wouldn't have that opportunity, obviously. But probably a large percentage of the people didn't participate. Maybe they didn't even read it. Who knows? But I would have said you got to say something public. He says you don't have to say something public. But even that, I think most people probably aren't going to do. I think most of them are just going to be like, well, maybe there's too many of us and he won't reveal me. And I think that we're going to see a lot more names come out. Now, I imagine a lot of these people are probably not well-known names. They're probably, some of them are probably like people's editors and people who help behind the scenes. Maybe people who go to Speaker's Corner, but, you know, don't record videos on their own, whatever. Not all of them are famous people, but I bet you we're going to get some more people that we know as well as this goes on. And as you said, this could have all been avoided if Mohammed Hijab had just had the slightest little bit of restraint and said, okay, I'll sacrifice a little tiny bit of my ego to admit that I did something wrong. No one would have ever known about this. They could have gone on and 85% of them could have continued to enjoy their secret wives. But nope, he couldn't do that. He's going to throw the whole community under the bus rather than be accountable for his own actions. Now, I have no sympathy for any of these guys, right? They're all responsible for their own choices. They're all responsible for being complicit, but they are still also victims of Mohammed Hijab in that he is taking advantage of them, taking advantage of their loyalty, and not showing the slightest bit of accountability on his own. And it is just utterly pathetic. I do find it encouraging how many Muslims in the comments, right? How many Muslims in the comment section have condemned this, not just on Dean's video there, as we saw today, but even on Ali Dawah and Mohammed Hijab's videos as well. In theory, the friendliest possible audience have a good number of negative comments. So I am encouraged that there are many Muslims who are against this behavior and willing to say something about it. I think that the vast, vast majority of fans of Mohammed Hijab at best have a vague idea of what went down, right? They haven't really looked at the evidence. Say, well, there's some accusations, but I don't want to look into it. So I would just say, and continue to put pressure on these guys, right? Continue to put pressure. If you happen to live in the UK, put pressure on these guys. If you are in the US and, you know, you run into Daniel Hikachu, he definitely is part of this, right? He's definitely involved in this conspiracy because he's made public statements about it and whatnot. And, you know, feel free to ask any Dawah guy, right? Any Dawah guy who hasn't explicitly condemned this can be asked, right? What do you feel about this? Yeah, you don't have to make accusations against him, but put pressure on him. Make him make a statement about it. And if they refuse to make a statement, they refuse to make a statement. That in itself is saying something.
And I think it's actually, you know, you might be thinking, really, do you need to go and expose every last person on the list? It's actually important. You want people to know, hey, you rally around some dude doing horrible stuff and think you get away with it. Nope. You were willing to throw a woman under the bus for your loyalty to an obvious narcissist. You need to be exposed for the future benefit of other people who might be in that same situation. In other words, future generation, hey, help me blame this woman and throw her into the garbage and maybe get her killed or something like that. You say, nope, we've seen this before, and it didn't go well. Issa, final thoughts on all this?
Wow.
I know you're going to say, how dare you criticize my religion?
Well, I was going to say I'm just deeply disappointed. I'm deeply disappointed in humanity. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Just really disgusting and grotesque. Doing evil things in the name of God it's not something that works well for me. It really, and I feel Salman's pain, and I agree with him. I'm like, this is so bad. It doesn't matter what religion. Like, I think of like, I don't know what you feel about prosperity gospel preachers, but like I see them and they're like taking money from poor people, and I don't know, that bothers me deeply. Like, I'm just not.
We do not like prosperity gospel preachers. They're messed
It's
up.
funny, I never asked you. Like, I didn't. I'm sorry if that was like a little bit of offensive thing, but I just like, I'm so against exploitation. I don't care who's exploiting, but when I saw the one on TV, and I'm like, you're exploiting people. You're taking the last money that some poor people have, and I'm like, this is the same thing. It's an exploitation. It's sexual exploitation. You're exploiting vulnerable women, and you're using God to do it. You're defending your exploitation in the name of God. And I'm like, I can't endorse that. I hate it. I rebuke it. It's disgusting and gross and evil. And it's like, I think if I heard that and I was in this community, I'm like, you're not my friend. My friend would never do something like this. I don't want to be connected to this. Like, if I was in that space, I'm like, this is not what friends do, and I'm not going to have anything to do with you. You need to go and take accountability for what you did and ask for forgiveness of this woman. You need to go ask for forgiveness, and you need to go and make things right with her family. That's what I would encourage. I said, if you want to be a friend with me, that's what you have to do. You got to fix all this crap that you did. If I was connected with Mohammed Hijab, that's what I would tell him. I wouldn't be like, you know what? Let's sweep all these bad things under the rug and just pretend like nothing happened and just continue to keep exploiting. It's trafficking, it's exploitation, it's evil, and it's vile, and it needs to be called out. And maybe I'm a little shell shocked by the whole thing, but it's just, then even Ali Dawah is a part of this too. And like, they're saying, well, God, gives the stamp of approval. I'm like, what kind of God is that? Is this the God? Are you sure this is what you want to say is God? Like, it would tell you to do these evil things. You want to say God did this? I don't know. It's like, it's just so bad. It's really, really bad. And it's bad. It's sad. It's traumatic. And, it's unacceptable. So I agree with Solomon. I agree with the panel here. And thank you for having me, David and Thaddeus, and allowing me to be a part of your panel tonight. And I don't know, I'm kind of hurt by the whole scenario because it bothers me deeply that these things are happening. And I hope there's rectification and that women like Sister Aisha will have liberation, will have transformation, and will be able to live normal lives after the horrible exploitation that they faced.
Yep. And guys, Issa had some powerful words of wisdom for you, Dawah guys. I know you guys. You just you're either like clinically screwed up narcissist, or it's just adaptive behavior. It's how you behave in your group, so you start functioning like narcissists, even if you're not. And so it can be especially difficult for guys like you to admit that you're wrong and to try to make things right when you've done them. You just have to thump your chest and pretend everything is good. But trust me on this one. It's something I had to do. Better to just step forward and say, here's all the screwed up stuff I've done, and I'm going to stop doing it. Guess what? People forgive you. All right, I'll be back with Issa on Saturday. We're going to talk about the Islamic dilemma, right?
Yes, sir. I'm excited.
Going to talk about the Islamic dilemma with Issa. And on that note, I should have a video up tomorrow at noon. Both me and I made one, and Than from Inspiring Philosophy. We both made an Islamic dilemma video, but we used Bayesian reasoning. So I actually did everything I could do to minimize the math involved in my version of the argument. And then Than has a much more math heavy for you if you want Bayesian reasoning in all its glory. He has like the math and stuff like that. So you have mine sort of a simpler, easier to understand version, and his more fleshed out and comprehensive. So those should be up at noon tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. And then on Sunday, I'm going to have on someone who's going to take us through various passages in the Quran and show the Talmudic origins of some of these stories. So that should be fun. All right. Catch y'all soon.